Hello, and welcome to another episode of Don't Trust the Dungeon Master. My name is Alex K, and I am that Dungeon Master. Tonight will be apparently our 29th episode, our streamed episode anyways. So go us. Next one will be the 30th. Oh yeah, 30th episode that will be streamed. As far as announcements go over the last week here, since we saw you last Sunday. I got sick earlier this week. I got a flu shot on Tuesday, and then I actually got the flu, a mild case of it. My throat has been ravaged. You definitely you maybe hear it, and unfortunately, I can't do any of my voices, so I apologize. There is going to be no voice acting for me. That is going to lower the quality of the product, but I still want to play. Health-wise, I'm not doing bad, just the discomfort in the vocal cords. And I just know I can't do any voice right now. It's going to crack. And even my normal voice, after doing this for about 4 hours, is going to be wrecked to hell and back as well. But we're still playing. Other announcements, Demi is not able to play with us at his computer right now. He didn't budget time correctly, or he got screwed on some kind of chore thing. He is joining us live via Discord app on his cell phone. Which he's technically
using his data.
He's technically muted right now. Yeah. He's using his data. He said he'll try to chime in when he can. So I don't.
Hi guys.
Yeah, there you go. Apparently they're doing a garage sale. I don't know what is really going on over there, but so he's here. He's just not going to participate a terrible large amount, or I don't know what your plans are here, but we're more than happy to still have him here. That's the big announcements for me. Let's see. I mean. We had a big amount of talk last week about Emerald City Comic Con, and I bought one ticket for a Saturday, so that's the solution of that. I think that's March 16th is that Saturday. So
yes.
March 16th. I spent the money. I might still not go. We'll see. Was expecting a Boo Earns.
You better go. I'm going.
Hey, whatever. Do what you want to do.
Wow,
look at that. Fell.
Oh wow.
I plan on going. So that's what
you better be there. I'm gonna be super pissed.
That's my week for me. All right, let's move on to the next personnel. Normally we go to Owl next, as she's always eager. Let's not go to Owl next. Let's go to the person that's always really reserved and quiet. Ikal, how has your week been? Oh wow, he just upped the bill. So maybe that's why he never talks much in the announcements, because he actually leaves without telling us, and then he just like comes back 5 minutes later. Oh, we're not gonna start.
He's like, oh wait, I'll go last.
All right, well, so yeah, so all right, Roderick, how about you? How are things?
They're going, living life like it's golden. I don't know. It's really been like literally the same week. Only thing that's different is that report cards coming out and got kids freaking out.
Oh boy.
Yeah, their lives are about to be ruined. They're about to find out that they're able to succeed or fail.
No more Fortnite for them late night.
Oh boy.
Okay. And then how about that dear potato?
Oops.
Oh, I'm just a potato. Not much to announce.
Okay. Great. You're a valued member of our community already.
All right.
I'm glad he's on board.
How about potato fun facts? Here you go. Potato was the first grown vegetable in space.
Well, there you have
There
it.
you go.
And you might wonder why we call him Potato, because his name is literally Mighty Potato. If you look in the top right corner of the screen, there's that orange color there, that guy named Mighty Potato. That's his name. This is the internet alias he wants to be known by, so we make a lot of spud puns with him. I mean, you could say it's a pretty mashed humor. All right, moving on.
Wow. Wow.
How are you, Mike? How's things going out there?
Doing all right. A lot of prep work for other games that I have to be doing, and kind of stressed out about that. Left the other game kind of in an awkward spot. Getting prepared for this game mentally and physically, trying to do the best, but other than that, not much.
All right, and then we're gonna go to Demi. How's Doma?
Well, putting me on the spot. No, just kidding. I'm doing well. That's my second try. I'm currently emptying out storage sheds because got left with a bunch of shit. I'm trying to fit them all into one so I pay less instead of 3 storage sheds. I'm here live from my phone. It's nice to see you all again. Hope today goes well. I might be back eventually.
And he's going to Comic-Con too.
Yeah, I'm coming to Comic-Con with these guys. It's going to be great. Anyone who comes out there can meet us live.
Just FYI,
I don't know
he
who
is saying storage shed, not sword shed. I know it sounds like
You know what?
sword
I probably have a sword in here somewhere. So eat those apples.
All right.
Anyway, I'm going to go on mute again because I'm moving shit.
Okay, and then Ikal, are you back? Wow. All right, well then, Owl, last spot's yours.
It has been an interesting week. It's like my first actual week as focal, and I mean, being a lead babysitter's, it's exactly what it sounds like. I'm actually, it's not that bad. I mean, I have one person that is giving me a hard time, but that should be dealt with this week, hopefully, and we'll see how that goes. The end of my week, Friday night, unfortunately, my mom had to put one of her cats down, and it was heartbreaking. And
Wait,
yeah,
you
it
had to
was-
put one of your mom's cats down?
Yeah, so one of my mom's cats, Toby, she got her and Noah got Toby when I was living out in Vegas. So I met Kyle, and then about a year into our relationship, I moved to Vegas for about 8 months and took Hunter with me, my cat Hunter. And when we were living out there, they actually got Toby. And he was just a little baby kitten, and he was just the cutest little thing, and Hunter and him were best friends. And it was really hard to take Hunter away from him, but I did when I moved back to Minnesota. And apparently ever since the break-in that she had, he's been kind of going downhill. And Friday, he got to the point where he lost so much weight, he didn't even have the strength to like jump up onto the couch. And so my mom decided to bring him to the vet. And his blood glucose was like over 300, and they're basically like, well, he's got diabetes, and his kidneys and his liver were basically failing. And so we just had to make a decision, and they could have done thousands of dollars worth of things, and they could have tried to save him, but it would have been a pretty poor quality of life, and we didn't really want that for him. So we decided that we should let him go. And it was really hard. It was really hard, but I was with her on the phone and was able to be there for her as much as I could be. So it was a really crappy end of a long week. But we had to do what was best for him, so.
Sorry to hear that. I hope you're doing okay. I hope your mom's doing okay.
I'm just heartbroken. That was the last link that we had to Noah, and so it was hard losing that. But I mean, respectively, her and I both have cats that are older than him, and he was only like 15. So it just was very sudden and unexpected.
Okay. Well, we're going to try to change pace here with a
But I'm
distraction.
going to Comic-Con with these guys. And
Okay.
my mom and Mike are going to be here, so I know Laris hasn't met them. Dustin, you'll get to meet them.
Okay, everybody. Let's try to change gears and get back into our fictitious world Arkelya, on the planet Arkelya, on the continent of Estrin, and the subcontinent of New Osol. You are currently on the top of the Medan Mountains. After months of our campaign taking place within the mountains, I mean, effectively almost the entirety of the streamed episodes, almost 29 episodes, were effectively you guys in the mountain. You finally have gone out. So let's kind of explain how that happened, right? So you guys went in the mountain because you were trying to flee from orcs and look for potential allies. And then as you got into the mountain, there was just a giant fissure that happened to exist there through maybe actions you've taken or not actions you've taken. And you got to the city of Medan. You got escorted to the king. The king basically was going to kill you all. You guys persuaded him not to. And then in the course of that, you offered your services to him to gain a following with his community, of which he asked you or requested of you to go into the Medan mines to clear whatever the fuck is going on in there, because it hasn't been a safe route for over about a century. Every soldier that they sent down there never returned, and it was superstition, and they were running out of resources. They didn't have a means to keep themselves going for much longer. So he was asking you guys to go in there and take a look and come back and tell him about what's happening in the mines. You guys agreed, went into the mines knowing that it was probably a death sentence, but you thought maybe it was better that than just being executed. As you went in there, you ran into a whole bunch of weird shit. You ended up fighting a very powerful creature that got dispatched in front of you. Most of you survived, one of you did not. You got out the other side of the mine thinking, okay, we're done with this shit. As you got out the other side of the mine, you found out you're still in the mountain, unfortunately. And ran into the local inhabitants on the other side of the mines, which is the Karat side government, or the colonial dwarves as we could call them. They were concerned when you talked with them that the monarchy would try to impose its rule on them again now that the mines might be open for good. And so one of them, Captain Miles, was trying to convince you all to be on their side rather than on the monarchy, if that's the event that they were going to move towards. You guys then decided to deliver a missive way off to Karat itself. You traveled a week over there, and a week got stuck there for a week, and then got sent back. You spoke with the Three Hammers. The Three Hammers said, "Okay, great. You're free to do whatever the fuck you want. But if you would like to open the gate, you'll need the Chadoris off the king's neck." So you guys went back to Hammerhold with the intention to go to Medan to tell the king or negotiate with the king to get the Chadoris. Made all the way your trek all the way back from Karat to Hammerhold, through the mines again, got to Medan, met the king again, and decided to kill the king, of which you killed him. You looted the Chadoris off his body. A bunch of guards came in, and not certain what to do because they're not really familiar with a disaster scenario when the king dies. Asked for you to stay in house arrest, which was a very friendly gesture from their perspective. You guys then helped them set up a mock government inside Medan, as you were kind of waiting for the rest of the Karat region to come over. You guys worked with them to establish what would be at least the starting point from them to work together. A council was formed, 2 representatives from Medan's side, one of which would be Lena Oakenwell, your acquaintance from the Temple of Thorns, and then one of them, another person you knew named Elsie O'Reilly, who was a really educated and scientific-based woman who was heavily into the Caroldom and into the research of Agnir. These 2 representatives are joining the other 3 hammers, so now a 5-hammer system, of which will then rule, or at least try to rule all of the Medan Mountain, or at least the dwarven side of Medan, the mountains. You guys then were permitted to leave, but before you could leave, assassins attempt to kill either a lot of you or several of you. Some of you almost died, but did manage to survive. One of your friends, the person who was incarcerated so long ago, Haname, a blue dragonborn that was once a player character, who unfortunately quit our group, that character did perish under the hands of these assassins. You guys then fled Medan, because you just didn't really want to. You wanted to get out anyways, and you didn't want to deal with all this shit, and you thought that they could handle it on their own, so you fled for your lives. Managed to get through the mines. You were suspicious of many people. No one ever did attack you though, but you did run into several instances of strange interactions with people that just didn't feel well for you. They vibed poorly. Managed to get to Hammerhold. You met with Dawnbreaker, a person that Captain Miles told you to go talk to. She left him in charge of a contingency plan, and so she entrusted you to all him to take care of her oath that she made with you, which was she was going to try to help you on the surface as long as you guys helped her get the monarchy resolved, which you did. You helped resolve the monarchy issue. So trying to upkeep her oath, she sent you to Dawnbreaker. You guys went back to Hammerhold to speak with this Dawnbreaker, finding our introduction of Potato's character. half-orc gentleman who seems slightly battle-hardened. Has some connections over in the Hammerhold area. He asked for about an hour of your time. Well, an hour of you guys moving around town. He has some connections and strings to pull. He'll regroup with you and he'll show you where to deposit the Chadorus to open the gate. You guys then made your way to the Great Gate after this whole months and months of our lives, but a couple months of their characters' lives, actually. You guys have been in the mountain for how many days? Let's find out. I've been keeping track. You were in the mountain for almost 2 months.
It
Yeah.
felt like forever.
It was apparently you guys were in the mountain for like practically 50-something days, is what it looks like. So from entering and then leaving was 50-something days of your character's life. It kind of gets a little loose because we kind of abridged some long distance travel, and I didn't necessarily notate very well in those days. So either way, now you guys got escorted by the Dawnbreaker. Dawnbreaker then, Thoric Dawnbreaker requested you all that, he's been itching to explore, and now that there's actually a means to leave the mountain, he would love to go out there. And if you guys would be willing to help escort him through your surface, since he knows nothing of it, he would be greatly obliged. And you guys deliberated over it for a little brief period of time, but ultimately agreed. So Thoric is at least in your guys' company for the time being. At which you guys then got to the Gary Gate. Roderick inserted the Chadorus, a very large spectacle of a giant black wall that you really can't see the details. Basically had a whole bunch of white cracking lines going through it, and eventually the doors slid open. A whole bunch of light plumes into your guys' eyes. Your guys are blinded, especially those of you that don't normally see natural light your entire life. So Akal and Thoric were definitely suffering to a high degree. Everyone else kind of adjusted in over the course of a minute, but the rest, those two individuals were suffering still. Aniel pitied you guys, you two specifically, and she cast Lesser Restoration, which seems to help. You're still suffering. It's not perfect, but it's helping. So you can actually see your environment around you. It's not completely blurry. And what you see in front of you was a mountainscape that just, you're basically on top of what appears to be the almost the zenith of a valley, and in front of you is just a road that kind of turns left down in front of you. There's a bend, and there's just these trees, pine trees that reach upwards, and you don't really see the colors because you recognize that it's either early morning or late evening, either a sunrise or sunset. You see those purple and orange hues kind of painted across the skyline, just barely appearing there. It's either really late sunset or really early morning. The trees are just these black triangle silhouettes that poke upward. And you do hear some commotion of some animal wildlife, a lot of birds chirping. And those of you with higher perception, so, well, I guess a call in this situation doesn't have really good perception. So I guess it would be my elves, Roderick and Evelyn. You two would be able to see these little black silhouettes of birds flying off in droves into the air. Like there's these giant black moving clouds of wildlife that can move quickly, that are fleeing the current environment you're in. So there's a large amount of noise from them, scared from potentially the gate opening.
Right, because it made a lot of noise, you said, right?
Yes, not only did it make a tremendous amount of noise, but the ground trembled and earthquaked beneath you. Not to the point where you fell down, but there was a large vibrations in the ground, and so you quickly put it together that you imagined that anything that was on the surface nearby definitely felt that as well. You're not sure how far those tremors went down, but you definitely felt them where you were. Let's see. And so in front of you here is just this path, and you can't see the sun itself. It's not actually past your event horizon or your horizon at the moment. And so several of you have started making your escape out of the mountain now. Walking out into fresh, clean air. It's pretty cool as the breeze kind of blows through you. You feel very invigorated. Those of you that have finally escaped this ordeal, effectively, of these months, weeks of your life spent in this cramped, dark place, not seeing sunlight and being discombobulated about it, and all the things that you, more or less, I just kind of described in a quick statement here. Those events that you've encountered over the last few weeks of. Meeting Duro dying, losing Oric, dispelling Quack out of existence.
Oh, wow.
other big things. Let's think. The lake event, right? Aniel telling you about her past, fighting the behemoth that is Sarath, running into this creature that's Levolt that seems to have unquestionable power compared to your guys' current state of affairs. To being incarcerated in Karat itself, being thrown into a jury kind of or trial-like situation, or persevering through it. Ikal being petrified, fighting the shadow-like creatures inside Stone's Rest and persevering. There were many great moments. There were many embarrassing moments. Roderick and Evelyn, you guys getting hit by a love potion. Now you have a relationship that's been stemmed out of that. That may or may not succeed, right? We don't know yet. We'll find out. But currently you guys are still moving forward off of that. Doma, you and Aniel seem to be, at least you're hopeful that you're hitting it off. But you've been definitely attempting to be more intimate with her. Let's think. Any other major thing? Any other things that you guys can remember that I'm kind of forgetting right now?
Over the last 2 months?
I mean, yeah, your events that have happened in the mountain itself.
Duro could have
So
made
many?
that shot.
Yeah, Duro making that shot, right? That one on top of the temple. He could have did it. He tried actually, and it went right through.
You know what you're forgetting, Lairs? The Volscrap, like, 2-hitting me.
Yes.
That, yes.
It attacked twice, so it actually 4-hit you, I think it was. But yeah.
Evie nearly dying at the very end there.
Fighting Babarusa another time, and then
That
some of you
too.
going unconscious inside her disintegration aura. Roderick's hand being shriveled up.
His hand being atrophied. That meme was amazing.
Our two things of fan art made by Mighty Potato. One of us entering onto the bridge as we crossed off past the waterfall towards where we met Kawak. And then the other time of fan art where, gosh, what was the other fan art? Because you did 2 of them.
I did have fun.
It was the one where we're resting, I think, and like, that was the one where Duro was drinking the lake water.
Oh yeah. There was one with Evelyn and Roderick at the bar.
Did you make? Oh, I don't know if I saw that one.
I thought that was the very first one you tweeted
I
as
don't
well.
know if you did that one before or after.
Well,
we lost
anyway,
it.
so I mean, we've had a lot of things now, and as we think about it here as players, there's a lot of these experiences that we've had you guys have ordealed over the last year of our lives, because effectively we started streaming back in last August. I know we had a break, but effectively episode 0 of the stream session was going into the mountain itself. You guys, part of the episode was fighting some orcs, and then you decided to retreat into the mountain. So the entire stream session effectively has been inside Medan. This is just a very great point just to comment about all the things that we've seen, and just kind of re-summarize that to remind you of what we've encountered over this far. Oh, let's not forget the giant disco slime.
That was actually, yeah.
All right. So, anyways,
horrifying.
With all that in mind, here you are now, away from all those problems. You're able to get back to the problems that exist on the surface for many of you, and several of you have problems that you don't necessarily have right now, Akal and Doric, but they will be problems soon, I'm sure, for your characters. So as you guys are now walking forward, and all these memories of you and the events that have transpired inside the Medan mountains themselves. Is there anything that any of you would like to do and talk to each other? We're talking, it's probably in the temperature of about 50 degrees outside right now. So it's cool, but it was about 50 degrees inside the mountain too. It's just that wind chill of the wind coming through. That seems to be cooling it down a little bit more for you. Those of you that can see well, you can see stars in the sky at the moment. You can't really tell the time of day yet. That'll take time. Yeah, what would any of you like to do at this point? Currently, you're walking forward, just getting more and more distance between you and the Grey Gate.
You'd see Thorax still excited, but looking slightly disappointed, looking up into the sky. So just, I knew it wasn't blue.
You just gotta give it some time.
Yes.
Welcome to the rest of the world, guys.
How far can a call actually see, like, outward?
So at the moment, I would say that consider it basically like dark vision. You got 60 feet right now is what you have.
The Aniel did something on them,
Everything
right?
past that is a super blurry. That Aniel gave him this, is what she gave
That's
him.
what I thought. Okay.
They got about 60 feet of vision right now. Anything past that, and it's too blurred. Their eyes are not accustomed to it, and there's not even bright light out yet. It's dim light for sure. So that's gonna be fun.
It's either dusk or dawn. I can't really tell.
You can see your party. You can recognize the shapes of your party very clearly. They are in focus. Anything within 60 feet, it seems more or less normal. Anything past that, it's a little difficult for you right now.
Right, but I still understand that is a very long distance I can see.
Yes, far more. You never even had a horizon you could really see before because the mountain got in the way, or it would just be darkness out there. So this is a spectacle that you and Thorak have never encountered before in your life, to see out potentially objects which you're estimating could be miles out. You're on top of a valley looking downward, and there's mountainous rain beneath you, so there's spikes and pops in the hillside as it goes down, and there's these trees that come up, so you don't see to the horizon, unfortunately, but you can see out at minimum a mile out there. You can see a couple of these little triangles that poke out very far away of taller trees out there that help emulate to you the sheer volume of scope that you never had before previously.
Akal's gonna take a knee, like kind of hold his stomach. Oh, that's a long distance.
Are you okay?
I'll be fine. Just,
Just need a little bit of time.
it's new.
Akal,
Yes.
make a perception check.
Rolling. Ooh, that's good. That is a 24.
Okay. So as you took a knee and you put your hand against the ground and Evelyn's talking to you, you respond in kind, and then you feel some tremors still on the ground at this moment as your right palm is against the ground. There still seems to be some activity of vibration or quaking deep beneath the soil.
But the gate has ceased activity, as far as I know, correct?
Based off of... Sure, yes or no. I mean, it stopped making a large amount of noise, and it seems to no longer be continuously opening. It's open, so...
Okay, it's open, it's just there's still these tremors.
If you look back, you guys are only probably in the ballpark about 150 to 200 feet away from it at this point, so you can still see this giant black square behind you, rectangle behind you. And from your perspective, there's these little small figures back there of a bunch, which you assume are the 40 or so dwarves. They're currently forming this vanguard up in front. It looks like they're kind of entering into like a shift rotation or something like that. So you can see like them right now on their halberds and pikes and their bulwark shields. The gate does not seem to be opening more because it looks like it's at already open max capacity.
Well, he would kind of cough a little bit, stand back up, stretch. Excuse me, I didn't mean to.
Take your time.
The gate, that
Yes.
gate, that gate was something. It seems that the tremors from the gate opening are still reverberating to the earth.
Are they now?
Yes, I could feel them. It is.
I reach down, touch the ground. Do I feel anything?
Make a perception check.
9.
9.
No, 8. I'm sorry, wrong. That's wrong. 11.
11. You're not feeling anything. It's like it's almost like you get that notion that since he mentioned it, you're almost as if like, is it really happening or am I just thinking it's happening? Like even like in real life, sometimes you think, oh, is that a quake, right? You get the notion maybe you're convincing yourself it's there when it's not actually the stimuli itself.
Do you guys need time? Or
No,
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm fine. It's just, when the light hit me and this all this, and he kind of motions outward to the vast expanse. Just, I'm fine.
We don't have
Where-
to rush. We can take it slowly.
Yes.
I know this is probably a lot
And-
for you two.
Especially since we don't know what time of day it is. If we wait, see if either the sun goes up or down.
I mean, the place where we're heading, this Windheim, yes. Do you know how far away it is?
I think we talked about this last session. Was it a week, you said, Laris?
Yeah, you made like a rough history check, and you're like, I think the Grey Gate's about a week's travel.
I think it's roughly a week, give or take. It's been a long time since anyone's come here from my area. There should be an outpost at some point further down the path if we continue. I just don't... Would I know if that was still stationed? I would assume it is,
It's
but...
not, so...
It's not like fully stationed, but I'm assuming there's some kind of...
Essentially.
I know we
They're
did a
not
check
gonna
on it. I kind of forget what you rolled. So can you just make a new history check for me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't, unfortunately, I can't remember every roll you do.
Well, god damn it. I'm kidding.
What'd you get?
13 plus 7, that's 20?
Unnatural 20?
Nice.
Yeah,
Unnatural
so there was an outpost that existed not terribly far, maybe a day's travel or so south of the Grey Gate, if you recall. Though, if you recall, ever since the Medan kind of ceased existing, funding stopped being directed that way, other problems started occurring. You feel like in the back of your head that it's probably not actually an outpost anymore. It's probably a community or a town, if even existing.
Okay.
Without a reason, people tend to flee or move to other areas.
You see Thorax sort of just staring into the sky, just straight up, his neck bent. Probably would hurt if he kept it up for too long. Just staring up, not looking at you, but speaking.
So Thorak, make a perception check at disadvantage.
Oh. Oh, 17.
Wow, a disadvantage? Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
great, good job. So you, as you're staring up, and only the course of a minute, you get the notion that it's getting brighter and brighter, and that darkness above you, this kind of boundary of purple and purplish kind of light that morphs into this orange hue, and to then a pink on the side. It's kind of moving into this blackish, darker void, and that's kind of almost like a blanket slowly being peeled away as the other side is getting brighter and brighter.
So, the last thing I want to do is slow you down, but, you know if there happens to be anything closer than this Windheim place? I can keep going as it is, but it seems to be getting brighter and brighter. I don't know how much.
So, Dawn, it is then.
sunrise.
Well, there used to be an outpost. How far away was the outpost? Would I know that much?
It was about a day is what you estimated.
Okay. There was an outpost about a day's travel from here, but I don't know if it's still functioning or if there's anyone there. That's
Well,
the best
since we
guess.
know-
I mean,
Since we know that. Bad, I'm sorry.
well, I mean, we could try to find a cave or something on the way down and see if we could tuck in there for a little while to let them adjust. I don't know.
Well, in my opinion, at least, I always feel that being moving is better.
Agreed.
If we get going now, hopefully, he's kind of still like, a little uneasy, but he keeps talking. I think we can adjust as we walk, or at least we can try.
If you need to
Yeah.
stop, let us know, okay?
I think this should be fine. I mean, considering it's not like this gonna happen in a flash. It'll gradually get brighter, so
Right.
we can start heading down.
Brighter.
At this moment, you all kind of hear this cascade of wind come through, and you hear all those leaves up in the trees just kind of rustle and shake with it. A sound that many of you have not heard in a long time, and others of you have never heard, basically.
A call like straight jumps into a battle stance. Like
It's okay.
he's like looking around.
Yes, as you look around, there's just these black shadows of these towering things, these triangles next to you. They're kind of swaying back and forth.
Jesus Christ.
My God.
Attack a tree.
Well, I mean, I think I know what a tree is, like.
No, you know what a tree is. Yeah. No, you get it. It's distraughting because it's
Right.
hard to like
moving.
your senses aren't what they are. Your what you expect is not following the normal laws of what you know, and so it's discontenting.
Because I've seen trees move like that.
Perhaps
the
we
wind.
haven't taken time to prepare you two for what I guess it's like out here. I'm sorry.
I don't think anything could have prepared us for this.
That's kind of my thinking.
This is abnormal. I do not like it.
It's just
It'll
the
be
wind
norm
in
soon
the
enough.
trees. It's nothing dangerous.
Right.
Trees
Um,
move.
Just wait till it starts raining. Then
With
you'll...
the wind.
Ooh.
But it's not the actual whole tree.
You know what? I
You'll see more.
Oh no.
I
okay.
start making my way down the path.
Yes.
Okay, so you guys resume your pace, going forward, and Nicole and Thoric, as resolute as you guys are trying to be, it's difficult for you, and so you're persevering despite these issues. So moving forward over the course of the next 15 minutes or so, that we're effectively at the point where the sun actually does peep out a little bit over one of the horizon a little bit. So there's this little yellow light that's slowly cresting over some trees or something blocking its view. And as such, the light that's existing, the quality of light in the sky is now getting substantially more bright. Over half the sky is easily starting to appear like a normal morning at this point. And so you're starting to see that kind of pale blue starting to kind of appear up there. You guys at this point would it's a lot easier seeing your environments. Colors are starting to get enriched into the things nearby you. As you continue going forward, you're starting to see these cascades of rays of light kind of peeking through the branches of trees. And I know that Potato just went AFK, so I'm gonna have to probably repeat this to him. But as more and more natural light gets into the sky here, Call and Potato, your characters are getting more and more difficult with it. Despite what Aniel has done for you, it's effectively you guys have a debilitating effect on you at this point, which I'll just alert to you of. You do have the effect of sunlight sensitivity right now. Afflicting your characters, of which that means that any attack you take in direct sunlight is going to be done at disadvantage. Any perception you do based off of sight will be done at disadvantage right now. It's very uncomfortable for you.
Right.
That's unfortunate.
So as you guys continue forward, not many conversation seems to kind of almost die down, and it's just more of us like people kind of, like almost like awe inspiration of like deep inhales or gas as people kind of just remind, like for the first time seeing it or haven't seen it in a long time, things that they just haven't encountered in a while. And it just feels really refreshing or invigorating to witness creatures. You see a couple, a small little trove of geldings just kind of like galloping down the mountain. These seem to be in a slight panic-like state at the moment. Birds are still flying from here and there. There's not huge droves of birds flying anymore. It seems to be kind of like they're dying back down to their normal state of affairs. But you do get the air that there is still a sense of panic on these creatures, as it's only been about 20 minutes now since you've left the Great Gate itself and the Great Gate opening. And
You
maybe
see Evelyn will occasionally just like touch like a tree branch or like a leaf or like just enjoying being in nature again.
Sure. And so the path that you guys are on is you're actually on a road that it's a stone road that looks like at one time was meant to handle large amounts of movement of traffic be it wagons or soldiers. I mean, it looks like it was at one time a very well constructed and well kept road, but has now and since definitely fallen down into disrepair. There's trees popping out right through the stones. They manage to worm their way through in between the cracks of stones, and now there's just the road is disheveled and broken apart. Some stones have been knocked to the side. Vines have kind of creeped in at points. Moss covers half the road at different points. Dirt has slid over. Mudslides and such have covered claimed parts of it. And so you definitely see that this has fallen in disrepair. If trade is going to work, or if your society, Evelyn's, going to work with these dwarves again, this will be a topic of conversation. This will eventually, you guys are going to have to work. Well, who's going to repair it? Labor is going to need to be involved. Is this going to be a Windheim responsibility? Is this going to be a Medan responsibility? Is it going to be a joint operation? Politics start entering into your mindset, Evelyn, since you're so accustomed to it. And it kind of almost pulls away from you have this tornness in you of wanting to enjoy the moment, but then remembering your responsibilities. This road itself just reminding you of all these responsibilities that are placed on your shoulders, which pulls you out of that enjoyment mode and actually kind of bums you down just a little bit. As you guys continue going forward, you pass several bends. This road's just not straight. It winds with the natural formations of the landscape around you. These of the mountain, a mountain's just not like a slope that goes downward. The road has switchbacks at points to make it easier for things to climb up, especially things with wheels. And there's also just the natural formation of just safer ways to go down a mountain. So the path's not straight. And after several bends of it, some of you you hear someone speaking, just barely on the wind. You pick it up with your 21 passive perception. There's sounds like there's someone down the road, and they're talking. And you can't quite see them yet, but there is communication, meaning that you can recognize what is for surely language is being spoken. Now, the language that would be getting spoken, no, I mean, let's see. You can make a perception check to see if you can actually hear it, but you hear dialogue out there. So go ahead and roll a perception check if you'd like.
Yeah, I'll roll a hearing check. Wow. 24.
24. Okay.
Again.
So I hate to do this. I'm already out of tea, and if I don't want to lose my voice, I got to get more water. So pause here. I'm sorry, everyone. This is what tonight's going to have to be like a little bit.
All good.
If I don't keep it up, I'm going to lose my throat.
Do what you gotta do.
Health is the most important.
Potato, you missed the fact that you have sun sensitivity.
Yeah, you
what?
little person.
We have the drow sunlight sensitivity thing? We
Yeah,
have that
that'd be
right
rough.
now.
Alright, let me add that to this character sheet real quick.
You don't have to add it. It's just something we have right now.
He doesn't say how long it will last, obviously, so.
Yeah.
So it's like disadvantage and perception checks, which you should have
Yes.
had
And
disadvantage
attack
for.
rolls.
And attack rolls.
I'm in danger.
Oh god. Oh god, attack rolls. Yikes. Sure, that's not gonna be horrible.
I hope that this voice on the wind isn't a new player character.
It probably is.
Uh-oh.
I bet I know who that is.
I hope a call doesn't get the idea that whatever it is
I'd like to
hostile.
cast Moonbeam.
But our Kyle's not here
Karate
yet.
chop.
In the road, stuck under a cart.
How fast? How far can I run again in a single action? Hold on a second.
Very
I
far.
can run very far.
Forever.
What's your speed?
Forever.
Oh shit, Ghost is getting online.
It's- It's 45, doubled,
Times
and
three.
then doubled.
Oh yeah, it's 45 times 4.
Yeah.
Well, shit.
980 feet.
By the time you get there, you will see just one single cat.
Oof. 190 feet for a cat.
Okay.
I mean, hey, I'm a cat, technically.
Yeah.
That is true.
I mean,
Cat / mole person.
Oh man, when a call finds another tabaxi on the surface. Oh man.
It's gonna be
Snowflake.
like, what the? Well,
Alright,
probably
so
him with the orc too.
Terribly sorry about that. I gotta do what's smart.
Guys,
Hey,
we're here.
before we jump back in,
Do
question.
it.
I have a quick question for you, Lurs.
Yep.
Do you allow the Xanther spells? Most of them, right? There's a couple that you don't.
I do allow. Yeah, there was a few that just bugged me. They do things that I don't think agree with. There was a spell that gives exhaustion on a creature. I don't think that's acceptable. So.
Oh, that's just dumb. Okay.
It did other things too, but part of its damage
yeah.
was changed into that CC
Some of
effect,
them.
and I'm like, I don't really
Okay.
like that effect. So you could say that most of it's is good, like over 85% of it. So there's a fair chance. And so, in lieu of that, if you want to pick something that I go, oh, I need to nerf that. I mean, that's unfortunate. No matter what we do in the game, if I feel like there's a broken mechanic, I'm gonna have to address it. So
Right.
there is that live
Well,
patching, and we can
I just wanna
talk about trying to like let you retalent at that point or get a spell at that point. If it's
Right.
totally destroying it, Roderick had this happen to him at one point, and I
What
allowed him to
happened again?
change
You
it.
mean?
Sometimes I'm not gonna allow
I
you
wanted to
change it.
try. I wanted to swap something for Dragon's Breath, and I wasn't sure if that was allowed.
Well, so when you leveled up, which you should have leveled up, you can replace one of your previous spells with a new spell, so you can.
Right.
So that's fine with me.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. So, hearing language on the wind, I rolled a 24 to my hearing perception
Oh,
check.
really nice. Okay. So what you hear is, it does sound like it's common. It sounds like a feminine voice. You can't understand what she's actually saying, but the way the words up and down, it sounds like it's common tongue that's being spoken. But it sounds like the person who's speaking is trying to communicate with someone really close nearby them, and so they're talking in a very hushed, almost whisper-like tone. So you've alerted this, and this is where we stop before you've told the group about it, basically.
Okay. So yeah, Echo would pipe up. I hear someone talking ahead. It sounds like they're speaking to something or someone.
What are they saying? Can you tell?
I cannot tell. It is a personal conversation. It's too quiet.
But you only hear one person at the moment.
It sounds like they're talking to something, but I only hear one.
Let's just get a little closer. Let's just.
At least
You
you'd
guys
be
wanna
able
try to
to
hide
see
it?
him.
Yes. Let's approach with some caution.
I mean,
Everyone's stealth. No, I'm just kidding.
is there things we should be afraid of up here?
It's been a while since I've been on the surface, let alone in this area. I mean, I don't think a lot of people travel this way, so it could be anything, good or bad, friend or foe.
Well,
Let's just be cautious.
all right. Well, just point me in the direction of the enemy, and I'll run at them. I don't think I'll be able to see him.
Well, let's just.
Sure.
Can we just move our way slowly up the road quietly?
Stealthily? Yeah,
stealthily.
make a stealth check, everybody.
I haven't done this in a while.
Yeah.
Stealthing?
So,
Oh, no, stealth.
Here we go,
all my
guys.
players. So Doma, you're there. I know you're not talking.
Oh, God.
So I'll roll for you.
Oh
I
God, that
guess.
was so close.
I think this is a
Yeah,
good time.
I'm
to
glad
let
I'm
the party
doing just
know.
as bad as Doma normally does. Thank goodness.
What is it? Oh no.
I got a 5. So.
Was that with disadvantage? Because I don't have
No,
that.
you don't. No, it's not a disadvantage. I know you have that mithril shirt. Don't worry, you're good.
Okay, okay.
You
Okay.
have +1 dex apparently. You're stealthy.
I think this is
So you have a
good
6.
time.
Great job, Doma.
I try my best.
Time to let the party know. I have a -2 stealth and a
Check it out.
disadvantage.
What are you doing?
All right, so I need to do annual too. That's right. Ah,
The
fuck,
sneakiest
nat
angel.
1. Oh
Oh.
no.
Trip and fall.
Oh
Oh, God.
no.
Here comes Aniel with pots
So-
and pans banging it together.
It's like, yeah, we have Pots and Pans, the marching band, and then we have literally it's nighttime in a square. You cannot see inside of it.
So Potato and a call. Can you guys move your tokens to what you rolled on the stealth tracker,
Oh,
please?
sorry. I didn't
Oh,
see it.
sure. Apologies.
Just it tends to make it faster instead of having to ask everyone.
Just because your characters are blind doesn't mean you really are blind.
All right, yeah, that's so we have. Was this a nat 20 a call?
No, it was not.
Okay, so 1 success, 2, 3. It's 4 failures versus 3 successes. Wow, shit. Because of the nat 1. Way to go, Aniel. Way to fucking go. All right, so as you guys thinking you're stealthy, you how are you approaching? Are you gonna just continue down the road quietly? Are you gonna break off the road and go into the brush? What's the plan here?
A call would probably be in the brush.
All right, so call, you move off into the not into the shade line and the shade line of the tree. And as you enter the shade line of the tree, it's actually easier to see. Not see anything in direct
yes.
sunlight. You do see blues kind of entering into the skyline, as now at this point the sunlight is starting to permeate. There still is some of that morning crispness on the other side of the horizon, but entering this little patch of not direct sunlight underneath these trees, it actually helps.
Is there like grass on the side?
Yeah, so it's a lot of that like bark and wood chips that have fallen off, and there's twigs and high brush, and it's not meant to like support, but it's there's pockets in between the trees, and so you're not having to go through the high brush. There's enough for you to stealth, and so you can easily worm your way through without having making a large amount of noise. Some of our more apparent people, Aniel just thinks it's brilliant just to keep walking down the path, apparently.
He knows what he's doing.
Way
I'll
out in the
follow her.
open.
Yeah.
And then Thoric, you're trying to follow the group, but as you're looking around, you kind of lose sight of everyone. So you're just gonna, I'll follow Aniel. So now you're with Aniel. Doma chases after you. So 3 of you are still on the road. The rest of you kind of, I guess, move off into the.
This is fine.
All right, so you guys continue forward like this way. No one says anything apparently.
Get over here.
Yep.
Get off the roof.
You hear Evelyn whispering through the bushes towards you guys. Yeah, sure. Oh, fuck, that's a terrible animal. Oh.
It's fine.
Just forget the voice.
Just go, you got it.
Yeah, all right. So Aniel says, "Oh, okay, I'll get off the road." And she like whispers that as she moves. God, I have to do it like a book. All right, so Aniel exclaims that as she, or no, whispers that as she moves off into the brush with you. But as she does so, she goes like right in through like this heavy bush, and she's stepping on sticks that are really loud. And she's like got this grimace on her face, like, what do I do? She's like right in the middle of like this giant pit of like large branches that she's crunching at the moment. Either way, you guys eventually do keep going forward. As you go forward and you peek through the past the bend, as you get to the other side, with a large amount of noise being produced, you do see an individual who's just on the road, and you see a silhouette of someone. So while traveling through this part here of the abandoned road, you see the silhouette of a humanoid as you peek out there. Before you stands a 6-foot-tall, greenish-skinned humanoid who appears to be wearing armor made of the land. Looks like brown leathers that carry dark green highlights that seem to have been stitched together, that form stitched together out of what appear to be vines. Long brown hair drapes from the scalp of what appears to be a feminine figure. Pockets of dirt and soil coat the majority of her body and parts of her face. She's currently facing, her head is like arched downward as there's something in her hands, and she's looking at it. You see a pair of green eyes, because you do see her face right now, and she's not apparently aware of you at this moment, as her eyes are moving left to right as she examines an object in front of her. One of her hands, her fingers, currently placed on that object, and it's tracing something along it. You recognize the thing she's holding appears to be a book, and as she's reading this book, she seems to be reading it to herself at this moment. What would you guys like to do?
Guys, let's step out as only one person.
A call's just gonna keep to the brush and like move closer, like kind of eyeing this individual.
All right, so you get,
You want
you're
me to
probably
go outside?
at this point around 40 feet away from her right now, in the brush. Aniel is just frozen. So she's like, I don't want to move. She's like, I don't know what to do.
Do you
Everyone,
want
let's
me to go?
step out.
All right,
We'll both step out.
I'll go with Roderick.
So,
Just about.
and he'll clear his throat.
all right. So Roderick, as you clear your throat and you step out, at that point, unfortunately, Aniel with her nat 1 slips, falls, and makes a large amount of commotion. And falls into like and she gives a yelp. I can't do it right now, but she yelps as she falls. At that moment, Mike, your character is alerted, and you pull yourself out of your book as you look up to the surroundings nearby you. You see 2 people coming out of the forest bend there, and you hear someone kind of like, son of a bitch, in an annual voice that I can't do at the moment. So what would you like to do? What would you like to do, Pyrus?
My character would be frozen still, looking at these 2 people, not saying anything.
And instead of keep going, we'll stop in place.
So suddenly it's deer in the headlights versus deer in the headlights.
Are you?
Nobody move.
I'll just talk. Are you lost?
We don't mean to frighten you. Hello?
Call's gonna keep moving. If this person's watching them, he's gonna just keep to the brush and try to move behind this creature.
We didn't mean to frighten you.
Doma, help me up, please. Doma, you're like right next to her. She's trying to like crawl her way out of this like very thick bush, and she just can't seem to get the traction. And you guys hear her like trying to be quiet, but she seems to be quite stressed.
I help her up.
Oh no.
All right, Doma, you help her to her feet, but as you help her to her feet, now both of your heads pop above the brush line, and then Pyrus, you clearly see these 2 other individuals back in this like brush line.
Oh my god.
Aniel's got like
Yeah,
twigs and
Robin's
branches
gonna
and
go there.
leaves like all in her hair, and she's like trying to pull them out, and she sees that you guys are currently talking, and she kind of like tries to duck down, but part of her head's still showing because of that nat 1.
I'll pull her back into the bush.
So as you pull her back in the book,
might
she
as well.
loses traction, she falls right back into the book.
All right. Sorry. Those are our friends over there. We don't mean any harm. As she said, are you lost or something? Heard from what my friend here says that there's not many people that travel this road.
My character will then turn around, turn the book around that she has in her hand, point at the page without saying anything.
Roderick would get a little closer and look at the page.
Okay. So you
I'll
see her
stay with them.
her index finger pointing, and there's a quick little illustration on the page of some penmanship, and there's words beneath it. The illustration is very nostalgic to you. What you see in front of it, it looks like a valley, and in the valley there's this giant rectangular object that is placed again into the mountainside. As you kind of try to piece together, it looks very similar to the thing that you just left not too long ago.
The Great Gate.
Are you looking for is this
Are you looking for
the
Medan?
gate?
Yes, the Great Gate.
Why are you trying to go there?
Yeah.
The book. She'd point over to the book again.
The
What
book told you to go there?
Can I try to see the cover? Or what does this book?
So she's
say
currently
it
she
is?
has the book open in front of you. She's showing the text inside it.
What else is on the page? Is it just that?
So no, I mean there's only one illustration of that, and it looks like kind of like based on the break, it looks like this is a new section or new chapter that's just talking about the Great Gate specifically. And so Roderick, since you're the closest, and you kind of quickly try to glean information from the text, go ahead and make an investigation check.
While they're doing that, a call has been like slowly sneaking towards this person, like to their back. And
Okay.
if he catches like anybody's eye, like Evelyn or Roderick, he's gonna like point at this individual and
Oh
then,
no,
like
the
make
entire party has lost sight of you. There's been too much. They've all turned. So Thorax looked towards Aniel. Doma's broken eye contact with you to help with Aniel. And what's it?
We're on the
Evelyn and
road.
Roderick are currently of train on her. So no one knows where you are because you have a 26 stealth. You son of a gun. All
You're
Freaking ninja.
Well-
fucking ninja.
right, so what'd you get there,
Uh,
Roderick? So yeah, you've kind of circle navigated and you actually managed to get to the opposite side of the road and you're behind her and you're now within like theoretically 15 feet of her at the moment, but in the brush and she doesn't seem to be aware of your presence at all at the moment.
Okay.
So you can
I'm-
strike
Neither
if
are
you
we.
need to, and she would not be aware.
All right, Arkelya's just gonna stay in this brush and just wait.
Like a cat stalking its prey.
Yeah,
All right.
just, like you see like an eye in the darkness of the
No, they
brush.
don't see an eye in the darkness. They don't see shit.
Well, I mean, camera
from your mental, you're like, yeah, I'm doing this right. But I mean, so
yeah.
from the neutral camera, yes, we would see that. From everyone else, no, we don't. So, narratively, why, yes, there's like this little yellow pair of yellow eyes with cat-like slits in them. They're like kind of crouched down in the shadows. All right, and Roderick, what'd you roll?
17.
17. So quickly looking through it, it kind of introduces itself like the beginning of it is. And so there we were traveling through the land as we came upon the most beautiful of sights of modern technology combined with industrial magic. And it kind of skip to the next page, and then it seems to talk once again about his cohorts and then a traveling band, and you're like, is this a novel? Is this someone's
my God.
story or tales of
Like,
of traveling
it's
through
like
the
Terry
land?
Darrington.
Is this a novel of sorts that you're reading? Looking for the Great Gate because of?
What do you mean? Novel?
The book. It tells of a story, basically, somebody's adventure towards like the Great Gate.
It was a friend of mine's.
A friend of yours?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I mean, it's just up the pathway we came from.
Yeah, you can head up there if you'd like. It's open now.
Okay.
Potato, as you start getting interest and you kind of try to peek forward, your head now fully visible out of the bush. You do you what's your passive perception?
15.
Wow, that's pretty good. Yeah, so you can see
Decent.
what appears to be an illustration of something. It's kind of hard to make out what it actually is, but you do see an illustration in the book.
I was more looking. Oh no! I meant the character art.
Person.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. I guess I need to go grab that. Yeah. All right.
He needs to join the table too.
All right. So, you see this in front of you is what the art that Mike has elected to use for his character.
Interesting. Wow.
Hi and bye. Hey, Kyle.
That looks very mean.
Hey again. Hey, Kyle.
Okay. So, yeah, I didn't get that. So, yeah, you're still in the bush. Fine. All right. So, with that in
I would
mind,
still pick up.
we have you guys are effectively, some of you hiding still, some of you successfully hiding, some of you not successfully hiding, and Evelyn and Roderick are currently still talking with this woman in front of them. You don't know her name. You don't know anything else besides that she's following a book.
Just yeah.
So Evelyn, you kind of just like point down the road, just the way you came. The Great Gate was back there, I think is what you said. So you kind of like you can.
It's just
Go.
up the path here if you are looking for it. It's open now though, so I mean, there's gonna be dwarves guarding it.
Okay. Does my character walk past them and go towards the Great Gate?
Be safe.
Do you think she'll be okay with the dwarfs kind of on alert?
I don't know. Thoric?
He's just shaking his head no.
All right, let's go. I'll kind of half trot towards her.
So the party turns around, chases after this woman. So now suddenly everyone appears out of the bushes besides a call because I think he's the only one who wouldn't be known. So Doma, Anio, and then Thorak bop out of the bush, and so there's a huge surplus of people next to you, Pyrus. Oh shit. Well, it says it on the stream. What am I thinking at this point? Yeah, Pyrus. Okay. Anyways, a bunch of people pop out of the bushes next to you as they kind of like quickly run up and get next to you.
Hey,
It might not be safe to go there now that it's open.
Yes, you may be accosted by very friendly dwarves. I use friendly loosely at the moment.
Very.
Very.
A call would be trying to keep close in the underbrush.
But yeah, you're still following on the outside of like as they've only gone maybe 20 feet before they caught back up to her, so you just kind of are trailing behind them.
What's your name?
My name is Pyrus.
My name is Evelyn. It's nice to meet you. Do you have to go to the gate? I mean, it's probably not safe right now.
I'm sure if we go with her, it won't be that bad.
How long have we traveled?
It's been half an hour. Not very long. I mean, so overall in your day's events, I mean, you woke up approximately 2.5 hours ago.
Okay.
Plenty of time.
Yeah.
It's up to you guys
Yeah,
if
we
you want to
can-
go back.
I have no problem.
I don't know what.
may
I don't know what. I don't know
ask,
why she wants to go there though. She just.
Well, may I ask, you said Pyrus, correct? My name is Roderick.
Roger.
Yes. What will you do after you see the Great Gate?
Well, why are you going? Is a better question.
I would flip the page of the.
She's trying to
What?
see. She wants to see the Great Gate.
I
What do
look
you
at
do after that?
the next page. What's on the next page?
So you flip. So she seems to have it almost like she flips it to a specific spot. On
Right.
like several, so it's not the next page. You get the notion that
Oh,
probably
okay,
the several next several pages is descriptions about the whatever happens at the Great Gate or over in that
Right,
direction, right? So she
Okay.
kind of goes into like a whole separate section, like almost knowing it by heart, right? Doesn't look like it's indexed. It's just that she knows where she needs to go through
She
it.
knows where it is.
Yeah, she's
Okay.
really familiar with this object. And then the next thing that she sees in front of you is that there's a chapter. There's no illustration on this one, but the chapter then reads, "Windheim and the City of Spires."
Oh. You're going to Windheim, but you're going here first. Is that right?
Yes.
Some sightseeing.
It's a long way to go to see a gate. That's.
It's
Where
not
did you
worth it.
come from, Pyrus?
Forest.
From the
Was it
forest.
near here?
I would ask the DM. I would point towards the direction of the
Yeah,
forest.
that would be east of you guys.
Yep.
She just points like almost directly east. So now,
There.
as I know not everyone,
Py-
no one
Pyrus-
actually has a map, and so
No.
that would be
Pyrus.
through the Alorn Mountain, past the Alorn, like towards the Alorn Mountain range, basically east. It's not, there's not civilization out there. It's past the. You get the notion that the Alorn Mountain range doesn't have a lot of cities. It really doesn't any actually, and in that direction it's just wilderness. And there is a forest out there past the mountains, so she could be referring to
Right.
that.
Pyrus, can I see the cover of the book?
Here. I would hand over the book.
I'm gonna look up like the cover of the book. What does it say?
Oh, sorry. You're asking me what's the name of the book. Shit, I never actually named the damn thing. I do know who wrote it. Fuck. You see,
Hitchhiker's Guide
you
to the
see the name
Galaxy.
of. I guess we would call it The Plethorial Journeys of Jeremiah Watkins by Jeremiah Watkins.
I read the title out to everybody. Interesting book. Thank you. When I hand it back.
Where did you find this at?
She said it was a friend, I think.
So, was it this Jeremiah himself or someone else?
It was him.
Was he with a party, I take it?
Oh.
No, by himself.
Interesting.
Roderick, since
Alright.
you're somewhat scholarly, go ahead and make a history check.
I was gonna say, do you know the
Rip.
name?
Rip, like I said, rip.
Well, you got a nat 1.
Yeah.
No, I got a 9.
A 9, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the name doesn't sound familiar. The book seems to be a circulated copy, or it seems to be well made, so the person that made it must have had funds or was a successful author.
Right.
So it would be someone that, you know, a good scholar would probably know, but there's a large amount of authors in existence. The book that you see before you, well, a little worn on the edges and the corners. Overall, it's in really good condition. Which contrasts
I don't know, he would
the
shrug.
current condition of the woman who holds it, who's got like mud caked on her face, and there's like a little bit of like, you know, foliage kind of stuck in her hair. Very similar to what Annie almost looks like right now. She's kind of like pulling it out still from the bush. But this woman seems, or Pyrus does not seem to be terribly concerned about it at all.
Aniel, do you want me to help you?
I think I got the last piece. And it's like she's pulling a pine cone that's got hair like stuck in it. And she's like pulling one strand out at a time.
I prestidigitation and clean up her hair and.
Okay, so
There.
well, yeah, with that, woof, you wave your hands and the pine cone dislodge itself, and her hair kind of like can be quickly arranged however you want it to be, I guess.
Just however she normally does it.
Sure. So it goes up in her default art, the bun that she hasn't had in a fucking long time. So
Is that better?
default annual art is back in roll here, everybody. Hey, look, all those hands going over there. What does she look like again? Your viewers,
With a
what the hell?
little less wings.
Yeah, there's
little
no
less
the
wings.
wing. Yeah, that wingspan is definitely hurt.
Is that better, Aniel?
Thank you, Evelyn.
No problem. Well, if you want us to go with you to the Grey Gate,
We're already walking.
Is
Talking.
this orc visibly seen?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah,
He
came
came out. He came out with it.
Yeah, he's
I kind
come
of
out. Yeah.
auto DM'd him, God mode him, but yeah, I pulled him out.
Yeah, he's
He didn't roll high
all-
enough for you not to believe you. Once you're aware of settings, you would be aware of him anyway, so he just came out.
Yeah, he's got all beat up sorts of armor and like he's loaded with weapons, flails, spears,
Jesus.
and daggers everywhere.
Oh my god. Yeah, only a call is invisible, I think.
Yeah, only the
yeah,
only
Carl's
calls
the
on
only
the-
one.
All right.
And Krista.
Yeah,
Oh, and
okay,
Krista,
yeah. She's almost always
Shit.
permanent.
Always forget about Krista.
Pyrus, though, can you make an insight check?
An insight check.
Yes.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
Yeah, make one of those
Against
insight checks. It's
against
great.
whom?
Yeah, who?
Against
I don't
the
need
DM.
to answer that.
Woohoo!
Smile.
A 7.
Oof.
What?
Actually.
7? All right. Yeah. Well, these people seem good-natured. They don't seem like they're trying to harm you.
Yet.
Overall, yeah. They seem to have fair intentions, but you are very concerned about people like this. They definitely have marks of civilization on them, and that concerns you. Of all the people here, the one that seems to be the most akin to you is Evelyn. She seems to kind of there's almost like a connection between you and her. You get a very good vibe that she's probably a good person, and you feel like there's a wavelength that
I
she's
see how
very
it is.
similar to you for some reason. At the moment. There's like a kinship almost between the two of you.
Is this female's back to me right now? Like, so
Yeah, so as you see the back of her, you see this like long I think
Just
it's
gonna
brown
stab her in
hair
the
that
back
comes
now?
down, and you
Right.
see the back of her leathers, and there's an interesting pattern on the back of her her torso leather armor. You make out this image of a. It's supposed to be an eagle, if I recall.
Yep, eagle.
Yeah. I'm trying to find the exact words I use because I want to be consistent.
right.
Where are you? There. You see on the back is more dark green embroidery that is in the shape of an eagle with its wings spread out. Currently, it looks like either like
Right.
it's soaking sunlight or flying at the moment.
Akal doesn't know what the hell an eagle is.
Well, it's a bird.
It's a bird.
It's a big bird.
All right, so he sees a bird. So is there anybody that's looking over towards my direction? Like
No,
so if her
no,
back's to me,
they're all too concerned at the moment.
Could I
This
wave?
woman seems estranged. She's keeping some distance between her and the other people, despite their, your party's got good intentions, but she seems
Right.
she's giving them birth because you're sensing that she's very hesitant around your group.
right. Akal's gonna like kind of reach a hand up and like try and get the attention of one of the people that's like facing her, and maybe they'll see him.
Make a
Performance
I
check.
think that's what I want. Yeah, I was gonna say either a
Alright.
deception. Make a performance check, and then what's your passive perception there,
Oh,
Pyrus?
15 or mine's 15.
Pyrus.
Calls
My
it 15.
passive perception,
Yes.
Woo!
23.
Oh.
Shit.
well,
Oh,
you saw it.
non-passive?
What'd you roll?
It's a 19.
All right, so so
But it's like a
everyone
26.
in our group would see this, for sure, and Pyrus, you're do it disadvantage because he is behind you. I'll give him that.
My passive's 23. so
Oh,
you
you're
need to
right.
roll
Fuck.
a
What am I
perception?
thinking? There's no disadvantage on passive. Make a perception roll. I'll make you roll. There. Fine. No disadvantage. Just
Alright.
roll. I'm an idiot. There we go. DM doesn't know what he wants.
Oof.
11.
All right, so you don't see it.
Hmm.
So everyone else
Do we
sees
see
it
it?
because yes, you would see it.
So Akal's gonna kind of like stand up and like point at the woman, and then do like a punch, like point at me, and then at the woman, and a punch again.
I shake my
Roger,
head.
shake his head. Shake his head.
Based on the
shake my head
charades that
no.
he's giving you, you guys get the notion that he's trying to incriminate that maybe he should attack her.
No, I shake my head. I
Shakes
shake
his
my
head no, makes an X with his arms like multiple times.
Suddenly, these people in front of you are starting to do gestures.
Akal's gonna slink back down into the brush.
Are you okay?
Of course.
Uh,
Well,
uh,
like we said, the gate is now open, and there's armed dwarves that are guarding it. So it might not be safe for you to go alone up to the great gate right now. Do you have to go up there?
Yes.
let's just go
Why?
with her. It won't take long.
Why is it so important?
It's for a friend.
Can I
Well,
insight? Or I just
Yeah. Mike, make a persuasion or a deception check. Don't tell me what you're doing. And then roll and add it. And then you go ahead and make your insight roll there, Evelyn.
10.
10. Oh boy.
And
Then
I rolled shit.
Pyrus, 13.
13.
So you feel she's telling the truth. She doesn't seem to be having any ill intent. There's a friend that's a friend in need.
Well, if she's gonna go back there, I know the dwarves. It could be the safest if I went with her.
We're probably better as a group.
Once again, we should all just go there. It's not that far. Come back afterwards.
20-minute walk.
I call if you want to come out. It's safe, I think.
Akal stand up from the bush, all 6-7 of him, walk out.
And he's within like 10 feet of you, so it was kind of alarming. There was something like really close to you, right behind you that you did not perceive. But he comes out like hands in the air, joins the group.
Let's go.
I apologize for not revealing myself.
Precautions.
I mean no harm. I am with the group. My name is Akal. I am of the Broken Peaks clan.
He's actually from Medan as well.
Pyrus would make her way towards you, a call, and poke your fur. Or your, fur.
Thorak would take a step forwards, so just hand on weapon just in case she just stabbed him or something.
So she gets closer to him, within 5 feet, and then hand comes forward and her index finger pokes your fur, your white fur with black stripes.
Do I feel I'm dying? Is this thing poisonous?
I don't know. He says he just poked you. He didn't say he was doing an attack or anything. So
He didn't say it was
Use
gentle
roll
either,
wisdom
so.
saving throw.
So you just feel a digit from a hand poking your fur.
I'm very closely looking at his reactions to see if he's hurt.
He looks at like the group, then at the woman, then at his fur, then back at the group.
Roger scratches his head.
She might just not have seen someone like you before.
She came from the forest.
Hello.
You speak.
Oh.
I do indeed speak, yes. Is that uncommon?
In the forest, it might be, yes.
Krista, can you come out? Can you come out, Krista?
Oh God.
What do you want Krista to do? I'm sorry.
Just to show herself. Maybe your presence will help her
Oh,
out.
right.
When you're both in the forest.
Right.
Sure.
Alright, we don't.
Are you telling me to do that, or are you asking me to?
Asking.
I don't want to.
Ooh.
Oh.
Okay. All right. Another time. Yes.
The orc doesn't know I'm here yet, and I don't know if he's a good person yet, and we just met this other person. I don't know.
Well, you have everyone else here to protect you.
Make a persuasion roll.
Okay. Except Doma right now.
Oof.
Why is it stuck on 8? Oh my
You
god.
need to get a different die.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
What'd you get?
13.
No.
Not horrible.
Oh shoot. I actually have to look up her modifiers to see if she would even. Because it's that close. All right, here we go. Sprite.
What do you need? The wisdom?
Son of a gun, you beat her. Okay, she says.
Wow.
Wow. She then appears on your shoulder, but she's not just floating out in the middle of air. She's kind of like hiding in your hair still.
Do I see her?
I'm visible now.
Okay, thank you.
Now, of course, your passive perception there, Akal and Pyrus, you do see a small little figure suddenly on the shoulder of Roderick that didn't look like it was there previously. That's trying to hide, but not doing a very good job of it.
Did she roll stealth?
No, she didn't. She's just trying to hide there.
Oh. So if if you haven't met her already, this is Krista. You would
It's like a little hand that like
Point
pops
on the
out
shoulder,
of the
yeah.
like to the right of your head for a moment, and then it kind of retracts back in to your hair.
Krista?
Mm-hmm.
What does Krista look like, Mr. DM?
It looks like a very small little person, about 6-7 inches tall, with a little pair of wings on the back of them. She's wearing a little outfit of leaves. She seems familiar to you. You've seen this kind of creature before.
Ah.
Thorak would squint his eyes, sort of rub them, and then look closer. Just to make
He's like,
sure
what the hell
he's
did I
seen."
just see?
The fairy, recognizing the orc's getting like closer, she kind of like ducks even deeper into your hair. Now you can feel like she's kind of pressing herself to the back of your head, Roderick.
Roderick, don't panic. There's a huge bug on your shoulder.
Thor,
No,
stop.
no, no.
Stop. No, stop.
She's friendly.
She's not a bug.
She's a fairy.
Yes.
Very.
A sprite specifically. He's not gonna do anything. He's just curious.
His hands. Oh my god.
you
His
not
hands
wanna
on his
kill it?
weapon. His hands on his weapon. She whispers to you.
I think
Not
that's
for
just
you,
his,
Krista.
I think that's just his go-to. Don't worry about it.
So still squinting his eyes because he can't really see well with the sun.
Yeah, it's pretty hard.
Trying really hard to focus on what's going on.
Okay.
All right. I have.
And by the way, now you guys
Made
your
introductions,
conversation's
business
gone
stuff.
like a 20 minutes, so now it's there is light in the air. It's blue up in the sky. It's starting to warm up just a little bit, slowly. And you're starting to see these white, giant, ginormous objects just floating in the air over there. And
The clouds. Oh god.
Thorak, just floating behemoths up in the sky. It's the brightness, and since you guys are in the middle of the road right now, you're not in shadows anymore. Yeah, it's blinding. It's very uncomfortable.
Be right back.
Can we move somewhere at least?
Shall we head back to the gate for a little bit then?
Sure, let's do that.
Yes.
And your name, Green Miss Lady, name.
Oh, sorry. My name is Pyrus.
Pyrus. It is a pleasure to meet you. It's very bright. I'm gonna, and he's gonna just kind of walk back into the shade, like kind of.
Which
His
provides
eyes.
immediate relief, but as you kind of look back to your group who are still in the sunlight, it kind of just makes you close your eye again. You kind of just looking into the shadows, and being in the shadows definitely seems more favoring to you at the moment.
Horse gonna sort of stumble his
It'll
way
get better
towards one hand, like above the eyes, making a tiny shadow. So he reaches out for a handshake, just like a drunk stumbling forwards.
So there's this hand that kind of wobbles left and right because he's kind of hard trying to find your person there, Pyrus, but he's doing some kind of gesture in front of you.
Thorak.
Thorak.
Still wearing the hand a bit.
Pyrus will just look at yours.
Alright. You'll take a step back and into
After
the
like
shade with the
15
call.
seconds of that awkward like leaving someone hanging, you eventually don't think she's gonna do it. So you kind of take the step back, try to like wipe your hand on your pants because you're trying to save face.
I'll
Face
go
is
with the
lost.
call.
Face is lost.
So he just kind of slink, his body posture droops a little bit as he slinks into the shadows.
A call would like pat you on the shoulder.
Ooh.
He's
All right,
done.
shall we?
All right, so then the group now looking
Yes.
at Pyrus, and they gesture down the road up towards the top of the valley. Up to you, Pyrus. Do you want to go with these people or not? Don't overthink this, man. Come on. Okay.
Because the person that I'm gonna talk to hasn't said anything, can I inspect the demo character that hasn't said anything at all?
Yeah, so you do see this one man that seems very unusual in the group of
Oh,
other
God.
people. Well. Oh fuck! How did she get twigs in her hair if she's wearing a cloak? I forget she wears a cloak.
She doesn't have to have a cool cowl on, just a cloak.
So Aniel's got a cloak on. All right, so you don't see her wings, but you definitely see the devil heritage of the tiefling man. Doma hasn't said anything. He's just been walking around. He seems intimidating, kind of similar to the orc a bit, like the muscular guy. But he's got a friendly expression on his face. He doesn't seem like he's meaning ill will. It's just that he hasn't said anything.
Hello, name's Doma Zarte. I
Doma
guess that's what you want to know.
Sute
Zarte.
Zaite
Zarte.
Zarte.
Zarte
Zarte.
Zarte
Zar.
Zar
Te.
Hey.
Okay, great. He'll just kind of looks away. All right, so I assume then we're going up the mountain.
Towards the brushes where the other two just follow them.
Okay, so the group turns up and starts heading back the way you came in. So you guys spend 20 minutes to backtrack your way back up to the mountain as you get yourself back up the mountain. The line of dwarves that were out of the mountain at first in their little line, you see them, they're retreated into the shadow of the mountain as they're kind of like there's a couple of them. There's 2 squads of 6. And they're definitely deep in there. You just see like the little silhouettes of their weapons kind of poking out a little bit. They definitely do not look like they're enjoying the post. So there's only 12 currently at the front. Nothing seems to have attacked. There's no bodies or carcasses nearby. As you start making your way over there, one of them does kind of begrudgingly like walk his way out. He's kind of got his hand over his eyes as he's trying to not be blinded to death. Is everything all right? Oh shit. Is everything all right? He says.
Yes.
Ikal's gonna like get down on a knee, put a hand on the dwarf's shoulder. This light is unbearable.
Oh, you got that right. This shit's it's terrible.
You guys will get used to it eventually. Maybe.
Put a hand on Carl's shoulder.
Maybe I
and
don't
just
want
nod.
to. He says in a cracked voice.
Whoa.
Anyways, why are you guys here? What you came back? Is there a creature you need help with, or you came back so soon? Did you forget your wallets back at the inn?
We think you have a first visitor.
Mm-hmm.
He looks over at the group. Am I missing something?
I'll point at the tree person.
Pyrus will be sitting on the floor. Out of her backpack, a paper and an ink bottle. She attempts to illustrate the gray gates that are now open, so it's just like a black void, I'm guessing.
Yeah, there's no like residual evidence of the gate being there previously. Look at least from your vantage point. If you go into the mountain and you could look like in between it, there would be evidence of it. But from your current perspective, no, it just looks like a giant rectangle that just is put right down on the road in the side of the mountain here. So you're quickly trying to illustrate this square, and it's a disappointment as you were expecting this. Like there was all this conversation in the book about this marvel of technology and all this superstition about what's happening inside Medan, and you see these short individuals that you've seen this kind before. The majority of the party are races that you're not necessarily familiar with. You can try to guess a bit off of some of the notations of the book at certain races here, but overall you're not familiar with them to a high degree. There was definitely enough conversation about dwarves, though, that you do recognize that these are dwarves. But yeah, it's a kind of a letdown, as there was all this escalation of what could be happening, and it's open. It's not here, and it's a disappointment. Is there something you need help with, miss? Are you trying to come inside?
Is this the Great Gate?
I
would take out the book, open it up to the illustration, and show him. This looks different.
Is she daft as he like turns back to look towards the rest of the group?
A call would shrug.
Is she a friend of yours? What I
A call would
Just
shrug.
Fuck. Yeah, same.
Oh, well, so Mrs. Woman
Pirates.
Pirates. Yeah. Well, I mean, it probably looked like that before the gates opened. The gates just opened an hour ago, so I mean, yeah, it's gonna look different. You can go inside the mountain if you like, provided you don't have anything that's dangerous. Do you want to gain entry? And as you look back there, it's just darkness. There's a black void back there. Does not look very interesting or inviting. And he's like, you want to come inside the mountain?
No, thank you.
Right, well then, sightseeing, is it? Feel free to hang around. Is there anything else you guys need help with? Because this light, he squints, is unbearable.
A call would actually ask the dwarf, do you know if you could send a message in towards Karat for me?
Definitely could. If you make it worth my time.
A call would reach into his pouch and palm the man 10 gold. And
Holy shit!
he would say, I need to make sure that my people know that the Grey Gate is now open. If you could send a message to one of the, he would, gesture to himself and then say, my people.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I saw one at Hammerhold earlier today. I mean, you're kind of like always in cahoots with each other, right?
Right. Anybody you see outside of our civilization, you can say we're working together.
All right, sure. Yeah, I mean, I have to do the rest of my shift, but I'll pass.
Of course.
I'll pass it on. So, gates open, and you're outside doing what?
Trying to find help.
Find help. Noted. All right. Well, I'll pass it off to that person, provided they're still in Hammerhold, and try to get correspondence. You definitely will do what I can for you.
I do appreciate it.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm getting back into that. And he just quickly doesn't even finish his sentence, turns around and runs back. Like not walk back. He runs back to the shadow.
I don't blame you.
Sort of while they were talking or busy, I would sort of just pull like a kid, at Roderick's sleeve, and sort of just get his attention, sort of move away from the tree person. So just, I know this whole thing's very bizarre out here. I thought you said trees don't move on their own.
All right. So let me ask. Do I have an idea what her race would be based off of encounters we may have had, or?
Well, you can make an Arcana check, you can make a
Sure.
religion check, or you can make a nature check. Now remember, the check you choose gives you information relevant to the field.
Sure. Let's go with Arcana. Because that's...
Arcana, alright, I'll take it. Go ahead and make your Arcana roll.
I was gonna cry if that rolled another 8 right there. 23.
23. Well, so she seems to have a elven lineage, potentially, but the green skin's throwing you off for sure. She doesn't look like she's orc. Well, the orcs and elves have similar. She's too gout almost, too thin, and her body mass to be related to an orc almost at all. If she is, it's a very minute amount, right? Like it's generations and generations of it. While she does have brown hair, you see that these leaves that are part of it, now that you're inspecting, seem to actually be part of her hair at points. And so you're going, is she... But you think maybe she could be part dryad? Potentially? Kind of a guess. But she doesn't look like she's a full of anything. She looks like she's a mutt. She's a mix of something. Different things. So by guess, you're gonna go, maybe part dryad, maybe part elf, maybe part human. It's kind of hard to tell.
Maybe a mix. Yeah, like I said, maybe a mix of a few things. I know she's not an actual tree, or she's
So
not
like
an
a-
actual tree.
A bush?
No. She's something mixed with a few things. I know she maybe part dryad, but
You literally hear them talking about this because you have a 23 passive perception, by the way.
Tree bush?
no trees. It's I gotta get you to read.
But the
as
leaves.
far as that's
Okay.
yeah, that's another topic.
All
Do you
right.
have an issue?
No issue.
He just perks up and pretends like he wasn't even speaking.
Oh, okay. So we'll pretend like this never happened then. Okay.
He's just
Is
looking
that
off to
rude?
the side.
Evelyn kind of covers a laugh with a cough.
Pyrus will make her way over to Thorak.
Oh shit.
And what are you?
I'm
Both green.
an orc.
But before
I
we
have no-
waste too much time here, we probably should get going. We can talk and move at the same time, right?
Absolutely.
I don't know. Depends on what the DM says. I'm just kidding.
The
Yes.
thunder rains from
I
above
agree.
as you
So
get
wait,
zapped by
before-
lightning. Mother.
Thorak said he
Oh,
was an
there's my
orc, right?
patron.
Get moving it.
just an orc.
Well, I'm sure. I think. I can't not be an orc.
Well,
This, because he has a reddish hue to his skin, right?
Yeah.
Like a reddish green.
So orcs do come in a variety of pigments.
Okay.
A large amount of them are green, but there are some that have reddish hue as well. So there is a spectrum of it, and as you guys rolled previously, he seems to have a lineage of orc, but it's muted tones. So he's definitely not a full orc. The gestures are much like the orcs tend to have a much more pronounced jaw that almost kind of overbites past it.
With the tusks, right?
Yeah, and so he has tusks, but they're smaller, very small, and just a lot of muted tones. So you know he's not a full-fledged orc.
So we would be speaking and going at this point, right?
Yes.
I mean, is that what everyone's doing? Aniel suggested it, so.
yeah.
I'm just making sure.
Yeah,
All would
so-
agree.
So the group agrees and they turn and start walking away. So I think the person that I'd be most interested in knowing if they follow is Pyrus.
She would not.
So she just stands there at the gate, still drawing
Reading
and
the book. And drawing.
rereading the book. Okay.
Mhm.
So you guys start leaving and you recognize that one of these people's not following and she seems to be complacent behind you.
So you're not. We kind of have to get going. Well, we don't have to, but we should. Can't really stand around and answer any questions if you're just gonna stay here.
The book, it says so much more than just this.
It's because it's open now.
Mm,
That's all.
yes.
We really do have to start moving, though, Pyrus.
It it was nice meeting you.
Yeah.
Pyrus tree? No, not a tree. Pyrus.
Same to you, Thorak the
Orc. Yes. Alright. Look at the rest of the party.
To
You kind of
Windheim,
take
is
a,
that
like
where
a
there's-
half step away, kind of gesture like, let's get going.
Did you not want to go to Windheim?
You're going to Windheim?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I'll flip to the pages and start reading because I'll slowly trail them.
So you just, like, autopilot, she just flips the book and just starts walking after you guys. So then you guys are like, okay, as you turn around and start walking down the road.
By this point, since the sun's out, does the call notice that the light orb in the sky makes heat, like as it hits him?
It's while being in in this bright, uncomfortable portion. Yeah, it's hot. It's getting hot, and you're sweating, and it's hotter than you've pretty much ever been accustomed to. We're pushing now, low 60s.
It's hot.
It does get kind of warm.
Yeah, it gets a lot warmer than this in some places.
Kinda. As he touches the armor. So just shakes his hand as if it's like gotten way too hot. Because it's plate.
I
Or,
approve
no,
of
it's
this
not
heat
plate.
more.
We have to know what season it was before we actually went into the mountain.
What
I think
season?
we
Yeah, so
did
all right,
ask.
so here's one of those things where I could have. All right, so I mentioned it to my group off stream, but my audience is not necessarily aware. Yeah, I could make everything right, and this is a fictitious world, and so it would have its own calendar system and its own amount of days in the year and own week cycle and that baloney. I just don't care enough to make my own calendar, so we will use the standard Earth calendar just to save myself the grievance I have to make it. So it's I know it's less immersion. It's not something I'm willing to work on because I have too many other things on my plate. It's a large plate, by the way, if you didn't know. When you guys went in the mountain, let's find out because I do have it written down. I have been tracking. Okay, so when you guys got recruited into Fort Tall, Sodoma, Roderick, way back when. It was mid-March. Way back when. Mid-March. It's been months since then, so, anywhere from May to June. It's kind of hard to guess.
What day is it? That's what we gotta go ask somebody.
Well, I would remember when I was at Fort Tall, right?
Yeah, but the thing is that you've lost track of time based because of the mountain. So by a guess,
Makes sense.
by a guess, how about you make me an intelligence check, Evelyn and Roderick and Doma, because you guys are familiar with this calendar cycle. Dates do not necessarily matter in the mountain, so.
Sure.
Oof.
Has
11.
Laris has
11.
to roll?
Doma, you're the saving grace. What'd you get? Oh, I have to roll for you. That's right. Took a moment there. Hey! And you have a +1. I remember this. So 16.
Yeah.
Doma.
There you go.
Doma's got a
There we
fairly
go,
good idea.
there we go.
Doma, yeah, it's probably early May. By your guessing, estimating, it's early May for sure. Early May. Can't be too late in
It's
May.
gotta be like early May around now, I think.
So
It's been a while since
late
we went
spring,
in
early
that
summer.
cave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
So if you plan to stay,
It's gonna
up,
get
just be
hotter.
prepared because it's gonna get a lot hotter. Oh yeah.
Thorak and Arkelya, if you want us to walk on the side of the road, you guys can stay in the shade of the trees.
Yes,
if it
please.
Makes it easier.
Just keep rushing off the tree, joins the call. As you guys are in that shade, yeah, you do notice that you learned something. Shade provides it's the temperature drops, and it's very nice to be in the shade compared to this hot and directly in the sunlight, right? So, so you've already learned something new about the surface world.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with the fire and the hot?
You get used to it.
Well, the thing up there is on fire.
It's never
Right?
really bothered me.
The sun.
Is that what you call it?
Evelyn, is it warm enough for Evelyn to take her cloak off?
Well, it's low 60s. So for them, it's uncomfortable because they're not used to
Right.
low
Direct
60s and
almost.
up. It's normally anywhere from high 40s to roughly low 50s inside the mountain, depending at what points. There are points where there's geothermal
So I'm still
energy, so it's not like they're not aware of heat at all. It depends on where they've gone. It's just that they tend to avoid those places because it's a generic temperature most of the time. Excuse me, sorry. So yeah, they're not used to 60 though, temperatures of 60, and it's just starting for them. Oh, God. So you guys make your way moving forward, and so any chit chat you would like to do, you're allowed to do such, but we'll just start narrating. So you make your way going forward. And I guess for the newer people, you are allowed to interrupt me. And if I tell you it's unacceptable to interrupt me, that I have to talk what I'm talking about, I'll tell you, hold on for a second. But if you want to take action, it's first come, first serve approach on this table kind of thing. So if you want to do something or something seems to stand out, announce it to you. Announce it to me so that I'm aware you're trying to do something. So you start moving forward. And as you travel, minutes turn into hours, and hours turn into several hours, and it gets hotter and more uncomfortable, and the shade provides less and less relief. As the sun approaches its zenith, you guys realize there's almost no shade, so you're kind of like almost darting from beneath one tree to another tree. It's very difficult. When we are near the zenith, even when you guys are in that shade, it's practically blinding to you. Your eyes are just having a very hard time getting accustomed to this thing called sunlight. You got overall the terrain that you're traveling through is just that of a mountainous terrain of pine trees, and there's not a large amount of creatures that you're running to, not a lot of forest animals. Nothing seems to be attacking you. Nothing seems to be harrying you. It's just, for those of you that are previous service dwellers, this is very nice to be out of a very confined, almost cornered space, and now finally it's like being liberated, right? You feel like you have unlimited potential almost available to you again. You guys take a couple breaks along your travel here, of which
On one of those
Cascade.
breaks, I want to do something.
Sure. Okay, what do you want to do?
I want to use the Orb of Sight.
Okay, so on the first break, you guys, get down to drink some water and, eat rations. And during this period of time, Evelyn pulls out this object she has. It's a giant crystal ball that's kind of got a yellowish hue inside of it. And as you look down at it, the people that are not familiar with this object, they just see you kind of like enter into a magical ritual-like state with it as you kind of close your eyes and then you open for a moment. You stare intently in the orb, and it looks like you're almost in a trance-like state. What are you trying to do with that orb?
She wrote it.
My mom.
Right. Okay. So it's a perfect time for a break. I need to get more tea. I've been pushing the last half hour without
Okay,
it. So,
just know I'm gonna.
So
sending
a
right
quick
after that, though.
5-minute break, everyone. I'm sorry. We'll get back to you in a second here, Evelyn, on that. Okay. Look intently in your object. All right. So what are you trying to do with this object? Who are you casting it on? What's the person you know?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to eat us more. My mom.
All right. What's the dice challenge on that item again?
I don't know because it wasn't in my magical roll call. I just reminded you of it, but
God,
I didn't
are
see
you
it in there.
joking? Well, do you don't have the original words I wrote for it for you?
Let me look at my old notes. Hold on.
Otherwise, we're in. God, you have the most amount of magic items in the entire damn party.
No comment.
The crystal ball being an orb
Wait a
of
minute,
scrying.
didn't you just redo them as well, Larry?
I did go and I said, please let me know if I forgot something, and this is one of the ones.
Yeah, I
forgot.
just realized now that you forgot that one. Hold on, give me a minute. Let me find it in my notes.
I mean,
I have notes on it from back then. I just need to find them.
I think it was just a magical item activation check, and then it happens. Like you
Yeah,
just
I know it
use
had a
the
DC,
individual.
and I'm pretty sure I know what the DC base is. So
DC is 15.
that's what I remember.
Notes
so.
about the Glade Hopper. We'll skip that section.
Ah.
Delete.
Rip.
All right. Well, so we're gonna say it's a 15.
Where the fuck
It's
is
a good
it?
thing it's on the internet permanently.
I think it was 15 actually.
So as you
Yeah,
try to
that's what I got written
cast
down.
the spell and using it through this object, you start seeing yellow wisps, and they seem to kind of almost pull your conscious out of your body and enter into the orb. And as you move into this orb, your consciousness, there's white clouds, and they're kind of white and yellowish clouds is kind of moving through you like a very dense fog. And you find yourself kind of feeling like you're moving forward, as if you're like taking steps, as if you're still in your own body, through this very foggy realm around you. And something feels wrong to you as you move through it. This wasn't like the other time it succeeded. You feel there's no connection, and you suddenly feel trapped, as if you can't move forward or even go back to your body. And fear starts clutching into your mind of, well, how do I get back? What do I do? And that there's nothing present for you, just an ever extending thick fog in front of you with no source of light around you. What would you like to do?
I feel like this feels familiar.
I'll just keep trying to get back to me, I guess.
So you try to turn around to go back the way you came?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As you try to turn, you do see your visual perspective change around the environment you're in. Like, you do see this notion of turning. You feel no parts of your body. You hear nothing. You don't feel the mist of this clouds running into your face. It's just visual. It's only optical. But as you turn, it's just more clouds behind you. And you try to make yourself move forward, and some of these clouds kind of brush past your optical view, but you find minutes turning into hours, and hours turning into days. And time suddenly just feels like a perpetual trap to you. Can you please make a wisdom saving throw?
You said hours turning into days?
Mentally, yeah.
That's rough as hell.
19.
19. All right. So despite all this, you do hold on to your sanity. And now the rest of our group, Roderick probably the one most alarmed by it. Your spell with the object has gone on for about 30 minutes now, and he doesn't recall it previously going on, and he gets concerned by it. So Roderick, you recognize that she's been interacting with this object for a very prolonged period of time.
All right, if would he know if he tried to dispel it, what would happen?
You have no idea. There's well, okay, make an Arcana check, I guess. Let me give you a bone to fish with here.
Fudge. 12.
12. So you know at the minimum that if you try to dispel an effect on an item, it will remove the enchant permanently if it succeeds. What repercussions that is totally, I mean, you don't know what that will do to the current state of affairs, because you don't know what's even happening to her. She's just been in this meditative state for half an hour, which you recognize, I suppose you recall was only about 10 minutes previously, which is why you're alarmed by it now.
I'm just hoping the same.
There could be other things happening in play here, but that your Arcana check was too low at this point to get any more information. So you know at the minimum you could try to dispel the item itself, but it would potentially permanently destroy it.
Laris, does this seem like the same kind of situation that happened to Vilma? Although he viewed it from the other side.
You mean when you went to that giant waterfall place?
No, I used this thing and got stuck in it before trying to find my sister.
Well, but you didn't really narrate that to Evelyn, so I mean...
I narrated it to the whole group.
Did you?
They all asked me what happened, and I was like freaked out about it for a good I don't know, hour of the episode.
Okay, well...
Yeah, he did tell us.
Okay. So Evelyn, you would actually have that notion that maybe this is similar or something went awry with the item. Roderick, then you would maybe be thinking that as well, that something's potentially wrong with the item.
How did I wake up from that again?
Waiting.
I don't really remember. All I remember is that it
Goodness.
felt like an eternity.
Mm.
So you want to keep waiting there, Roderick?
Try and wake her up. Maybe physical contact will help.
Hopefully. All right. Roderick would gently try to shake her a little bit.
Okay. Evelyn, you feel a sensation, as if you have a right shoulder or something's pushing it, but you don't see anything near you. You don't see a body beneath you, but you feel like someone's touching your shoulder at this moment.
I try to talk, like, hello.
As you try to call out forward, nothing is produced. From our party's perspective, as if she's in deep REM sleep. She's kind of like twitching a little bit, but she's not responding to your cue specifically. Evelyn, as you're here now, you feel like it's probably been about, gosh, you're gonna guess here. You're gonna guess 60 hours you've been in this state from your perspective.
Roderick would shake her. Evelyn, wake up. Wake up. Wake up.
So you shake her violently. Okay.
Not that violently, just
Not
a
violently.
little more. With a little more force. Not like
Okay.
yeah, not like
Go ahead
Alex
and
slapping me.
Evelyn, go ahead and make another wisdom saving throw.
Unnatural.
Okay. You do feel tremors and vibrations of where your body would be while you are in this different point of existence. You're not sure what's causing it. You have no idea from your perspective. Yeah, maybe reality's falling apart and you're disappearing. Maybe someone's trying to help you. It's really hard to tell. But you've been alone for a very long period of time. You still hold on to your sanity, though. You're still, there's got to be a way out of here at this point.
let's use Awaken Mind and try to speak to her. As you're saying, Evelyn, wake up.
Evelyn, you hear it. You hear a voice talking to you, of that of Roderick, saying to wake up.
I'll just say, help, I'm stuck. If I can even answer.
There's no
Rip.
audio response back to you, Roderick.
You could try removing the orb from her hand.
Yes. Okay. Alright. And he'll say that we're going to try to remove the orb from your hands. And to Evelyn, and try to.
Can
Is it
I
in her lap?
make a
Yes, Pyrus? I know that
May I
Roderick's...
make a medicine check to see how she is?
Physical form, yeah, go ahead and make a medicine check. And Roderick, once that's done, I'll go ahead and let you take your action, okay? Of which trying to pry it from her.
Alright, you can let Roderick do what he wants.
No, I want to know what you rolled.
I rolled a nat 1.
Okay.
So it's a 9.
All right, yeah, that's a nat 1. Thank you. She seems to be sweating. She's jittery. So even with a nat 1, you know that something's wrong with her. She's in marshmallow prison. Kyle. All right. So with that though, you try to pull the item out of her hands. Evelyn, make an athletics check. Roderick, make an athletics check.
Oh yeah, I'm good at these. Like, oh my God, the rolls.
I didn't actually roll that, did I?
I wasn't
Stuck.
looking at all. You gotta tell me. I don't know.
It went up in the air, so take that as you want.
Stuck forever. What is it? What are we doing?
Athletics.
Athletic.
That's a -1.
I think
Oh,
Roderick has a
14.
-1 too.
I do.
Yeah.
Five.
So Roderick, everyone, like the group now is, some of them are getting concerned because you're starting to talk in like a very like rushed manner, and they're starting to see this kind of like weird expression. So the rest of the group, the new people, are seeing this spectacle of Evelyn. She's currently like sitting on a rock, and there's like another rock in front of her where she's kind of rested her hands, and she's got this orb she's clutching in between her fingers very tightly. And they see you kind of trying to pry her hands off it and like peel the fingers back, and you're not having any success. It's like she's got a death grip on it because she kicked your ass so bad.
Oh, God. I know, right?
Roderick, at one point you like put all your weight. You put one foot against the rock, and you just like try to pull on a finger, and you just like lose your grip, and you fly back like 2 feet, land on your back.
Detect magic now.
Detect magic. Yeah. Okay. So as you cast detect magic on Evelyn, you see on your party nearby you all the general ambient magic effects of those around you. So stimuli. Doma has a very bright magical circuit right now. It seems like he's doing great. It calls magical circuit and highway. His key seems to be doing awesome in the environment. Let's see. Pyrus seems to have an activated magical circuit, as does Thoric. You recognize they probably are casters. Their bodies are, the way their mana inside their internal system looks like that they are of that of a prominent caster. Aniel looks like she has very little magic left in her body. You would know that her wingspan previously had mana going through that parts of her body, and there is none through it right now. There's not anything that's going out there. And Evelyn. So Evelyn's got this very intense core. Kind of imagine like a bunch of stars in a galaxy just kind of tightly congested together, and you see these like little sparks kind of in her chest, in her like her abdomen, of this very intense core, and you see this energy crackling off between it. And she normally has this core, but there's like a discharge between these stars that represent her internal circuits, and that's not normally there, and it's very concerning you. And the energy you see that is afflicting, that's bouncing in there, is that of divination energy going awry against her core right now. You also would see the faint glows of a numerous amount of magical items nearby you. Every single person here has some sort of magical items on their person right now, including yourself.
All right, I'm a Thorak. I don't care who. I'm gonna try to. We need to get the orb away from her. Something.
Can I try and cast a curse on it?
Sure.
Yeah, and I'll try to pull her from it too. Something.
Yeah, I'll help, but first let me try this. I'm gonna cast remove curse on it.
Okay, you're gonna try to cast remove curse. So you weave spell to cast remove curse to see if that would help, and you cast it on the object or on her.
On the object.
What'd you cast it on?
The object.
You said.
The object. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I thought you said let me check. So, okay. You cast remove curse on the object. So, Roderick, while you have your detect magic working, you see Doma weave. I think it's weaving, right? There's got to be some semantic with this, I think.
I think so.
It's voice
and semantic. So Doma says some words, and he gestures with his hands, and he touches the object, and you see abjuration magic flush out of his body into this against the crystal, the orb in her hand, and the energy just washes away, and there's no effect on the object or on Evelyn.
I'll physically pull it from her hand.
What'd you do?
All right,
Yep,
so Thoric, roll with advantage because I know Roderick said he was going to try to assist you.
Same with the call.
Oh, wait, so enough of the group
23.
is assisting. So yes, there's one advantage. So what'd you get?
23.
And then Evelyn, I need you to roll athletics again.
If you nat 20 this.
You better fail.
It is my
Oh,
There you go.
2.
The
A
one.
1.
All right, so with that, you guys rip the orb out of her hands. And Evelyn, now from your perspective, Evelyn, over the entire ordeal here, you're now probably pushing 70 hours in this realm. You need to make another wisdom saving throw.
She's near Demo.
Is she though? Is she?
Technically, yeah. Demo's right next to her.
Well,
Is this a saving throw? Yeah, +5 to that, please.
She might not
So
be
15.
actually.
So do not add.
Did you plus
do not
5 to
add.
that?
Do not add Doma's effect to you.
Oh, then
Oh,
10.
that's good.
Okay. So you are starting to get motions of hopelessness. You thought for a brief period of time, about 10 hours prior, that things were maybe someone was trying to help you, but then these last 10 hours have been very, very bad, and you practically are giving up. Like, you don't know what to do. You're not taking a large amount of actions. You did hear Roderick for a brief period of time, but he seems to have hasn't seemed to give you any new communication for hours, and that's what's bugging you more than anything. For a brief period of time, he reached out to you, and then there's been nothing since. And so your brain's going, well, what the fuck? Why isn't he still talking to me? Well, where are you? I need your help. And so you're getting this very cyclical trap of being stuck, and it's like no one cares. And so now you're going, wait, am I trapped here? Did they die? What's going on? So noted that. At this moment, suddenly as you're getting to this point of big despair, there's a giant flash of white in the environment you're in, and all the clouds disappear. And you see below you, as if you're floating above a giant ocean. There's water a good 200 or so feet beneath you. It looks like there's just water expanding off to the horizon, and you're right in the middle of the Atlantic or the Pacific, just floating like 100 or so feet in the air. As your view is forced downward to look down here, you kind of try to look up to see towards the horizon, and you do manage to get up to the horizon, but your view feels like it's being pulled back downward. As you do make your view at that horizon, you see very turbulent storm clouds off on the horizon as lightning flashes back and forth. And you hear thunder slowly echoing its way across this landscape in front of you. Your view, as you push against this, does eventually get pushed back down. You can't fight it anymore. And as you stare down at the ocean, you see the waters churning around you very turbulently in a giant circular fashion around you. You also then notice off to the one side, just a little to the left, you manage to turn your head just to the side. Well, not your head, your view to the side, as you see a giant amount of earth and stone bubbling out of the ocean. And it looks like the ocean and the stone are kind of fighting against each other, forming these giant pools of mud and quicksand, and a giant mountain almost piling, reaching upwards towards the sky, past where you can turn your head all the way. And then you hear this giant sound from your right. As you turn your head to the right, I keep saying head, there's no head, but you turn your view to the right as you see a column of fire fighting against the water as well, as steam pushes out around it. You see these four elements almost battling each other at the very center here where you are currently standing. They're moving towards you. A giant water moving up, this lightning cloud moving towards you, fire behind you, and a mountain condensing towards your current location. You also see at the very beneath you, as you look straight down, a singular vine slowly crawling its way up towards your current perspective. And at that moment, you're plucked free of your environment as you're now suddenly, light washes into your eyes, you find yourself falling back onto your side, and you see the very concerned expressions of those around you, of your party members.
And Roderick B would hug her tight.
You back, Evelyn?
She blinks a few times. She starts responding cognitively, whether she's actually speaking.
Are you okay? Are you
What
okay?
happened?
You
Same thing that happened to me.
stop
Got stuck.
responding.
She just blinks a little bit and doesn't really say anything.
Are you okay?
Can we do it?
I don't know.
So.
Does
How long was I?
30 minutes or so?
Yeah.
She frowns.
There's Thorak as he has the object in his hands and he extends it back towards you. The crystal orb.
I just look at it. What does it look like?
It looks the same prior to you using it previously.
Project would take it if Thor allows him to,
Yeah.
and he will put it in his bag and designate that do not touch.
Does that happen often?
Getting stuck in it.
It seems that something went awry.
Yeah.
It's happened
That's not
twice to
supposed
us
to
now.
happen.
No, it's
Well,
not.
We were never told it could not happen when we bought it.
True.
What
Very
happened
true.
to you, Evelyn?
Well, at least
Just
we know
shake-
ripping it from their
Just
hands
shake my head a little
works.
bit.
Can I make another medicine check
Okay.
now that
Sure.
she's normal? Let's
Go
see how
ahead.
she is.
Project would hold her tighter.
Magic is fickle. I never trusted it myself.
25.
She seems to show all the signs of a healthy person, though there is a healthy. They're not healthy. There's an elevated blood pressure right now. Her heart rate is higher than it should be. There's sweat on her body, but overall she seems to be healthy given the circumstances. There doesn't seem to be any lingering danger upon her at the moment. You would recommend probably the best medicine would be rest. Would probably be what she needs at the moment.
I whispered to Roderick, "Where were you? You were talking to me and then you went away."
We were trying to get you away from the orb. After that 10-minute time that you used it last time, and I wanted to wait it out for a little bit, but once that 30 minutes passed, I got scared.
You were quiet for so long.
That's probably when we were trying to get the orb from you. You have a pretty tight grip, apparently. I'm sorry.
She smirks a little bit.
I'm sorry. I didn't know if you could hear me or not. Anyway, at least it's good to know. Good to know if something like that happens. I haven't really get to you.
There's how long have we been traveling by this point?
So you guys have spent about a third of the day since you woke up. So, with the sun in the sky, and you don't really want to look up at it, but
Yeah.
it's probably around 10 in the morning, maybe 11 in the morning.
Alright, so what let's not ever use that again. We're gonna sell this orb whenever we get a chance.
We need to figure out why it's happening.
Or
Not
we
just
should
sell it to
maybe have
someone else.
someone identify it.
I just want to clarify. It is extremely useful, but
It is,
extremely powerful magic
Well, what
demands
happened?
respect.
I don't. So we saw her just lock up for a prolonged period of time. What did you
Yes.
see?
What happened? Yeah, was it anything similar to what I discussed?
It was just clouds and nothingness for days.
Days.
Sounds kind of familiar. Very familiar.
Days.
The infinite void.
Well, I saw things at the end, but I don't
Hmm.
know what to make of them.
What did you see?
Did you see anything, Doma?
Unfortunately, I was left in there a little bit longer than 30 minutes, I think. I don't remember if anyone pulled it from my grip, so I don't think I got to see what we did.
It doesn't matter.
What was it? Oh,
Yes, it does. We can't. Let's just take a little more time.
Right. Well, don't mind me. I'm just going to get used to my surroundings.
Sure.
A call's gonna actually go on a go on a hunt. He's gonna go look for some food.
Okay. So with that, a
Ooh.
call, you're gonna go try to forage for a bit. So how long are you trying to forage?
Not too long. At most an hour.
Okay.
Probably around 30 minutes.
So you tell the group that you'll be back in about an hour max.
Where are you going?
I am going to go find some food.
May I go along?
Do you hunt?
Yes.
Then sure. Try and well, actually, how fast can you run?
Fast?
He kind of like looks at you. Right. He would gesture like come along, and he's gonna like walk off into the forest.
Okay. So Pyrus, you follow suit.
I would follow suit as we leave the party. I would ask a call. Do you need a bird's eye view?
Well, it would help. I mean, this is a tree line. I was going to try and find a scent or tracks and follow them. But having a top-down view would help.
I would like to use my bonus, or my very first wild shape, and I will turn into a giant eagle.
Okay. So you're not terribly far away from the group as you guys start moving into there, as you get this conversation. And then suddenly everyone else just sees this giant pair of wings pop out from where you were standing next to a call as if he's being attacked by an eagle. A call, suddenly this woman in front of you just morphs, her body kind of crunches into itself, and then a pair of wings sprout out. And suddenly there's a giant eagle in front of you.
Would I recognize this type of magic from the roots of my civilization?
Yes.
All right.
You immediately know what she is.
Okay.
I mean, in regards of what
woman.
what kind of magic.
What kind of magic?
God, shut the
Yeah.
fuck up, Mike. God.
A tree.
Right.
Feels a bit pointless, but Thorax saying this would run over to you, or to where he just saw a giant eagle appear out of nowhere as you're left alone with the new person.
Well,
The
this
call does
would-
not seem to be concerned by it though, and he like looks at you as you like kind of make your way up forward, but he's not taking any action against it.
So lower his guard, but stand by just looking at it. It's like,
Hand on
Yes.
the hilt, you then kind of like slowly pull your hand away, like okay.
do you wish to
This is-
come hunt, Torak?
I'm not much of a hunter. I'm more used to things hunting me. Probably slow you down.
Right. Well.
As long as you're alright with that thing. You're okay, right?
So far, yes. I found no reason not to be, but in any case, Pyrus, I do appreciate the help. Shall we get going?
Well, so the bird in front of you. Yeah.
Makes an eagle though, eh?
The languages that speak are giant eagle. So it can't speak what it caws out from
It
you.
can nod at
But
me.
you can do charades if you would like.
Freedom!
Would you like to do some
just
charades as a
flies
giant
away.
eagle?
Just takes off.
You just fly in the air, Mike? I'm sorry? Is that right?
I'm going to flying upwards, and I'm just gonna be looking around for.
Okay. Make a perception check. I think it's advantage because.
Do I use its stats or my?
Oh
stats?
yeah. Well, so you get to use its extra feature. So keen sight, you get advantage, but
Yes.
it uses your wisdom still.
So
So you
so
get, you
it's
get its
rolling
features,
my-
but your mental stats stay the same.
Okay.
So it'd be your wisdom, you use your proficiency, but if it had proficiency, you would gain it. you gain the keen sight feature, which is you would have the ability to have advantage on perception, so you can take advantage.
All right, with the advantage, I have a 22.
Okay, so as you and you just take off and you go through past the tree, the canopy of trees incredibly quick because giant eagles are fucking fast, 80 feet per 6 seconds. You fly up in the air real quickly, break the tree line. The call, you just see some of these leaves kind of fall down, branches break as the eagle flew past it, and you can see the tail feathers as you look up. It's really bright, it's kind of harsh. You see this kind of blurred image of a silhouette almost of an eagle up there, kind of coasting. As you get to that optimal altitude, you kind of then let your wings hang out for a bit as you kind of then glide around to look around your environment. As you're looking around, you do see some what appear to be some rabbits down below that are currently just foraging away on some nearby grasses of some side. But a more interesting thing to you is that not terribly far away from your group, you see objects that are just kind of poking out of the nearby landscape. And then it dawns on you, man, you're not too far away from that town that you circumnavigated not too long ago. And you can see the silhouettes of these shapes. They're probably a mile and a half, maybe 2 miles away from your guys' current position. So there's a town not terribly far away. So you see rabbits and you see a town. Is there anything else you would like to do, Mike, while you're up there?
Target locked. I would like to get one of the rabbits. I want to swoop down and just take it.
Make a melee attack against the rabbit.
Okay.
Can I follow the eagle?
You see the eagle diving.
23.
You see that eagle diving down towards a location. You dart off towards where it's diving towards, assuming that it
180 feet.
So you jump from tree to tree to tree to tree, getting there pretty quickly. Unfortunately, the eagle did get there before you did,
right?
Based on the diving. So you do see this eagle as you just basically get into the clearing, and the eagle, right now, its talons just grab one of these rabbits, and the rabbit just immediately gets killed inside its talons as it then swoops off the ground with a rabbit inside its hand. The other rabbit bolts and runs towards your direction, where then it stops for a moment, and then tries to bolt to a different direction.
As it turns to run away, I'm gonna jump down from the tree and try and grab it.
Okay. Go ahead and make a melee attack.
You just killed a Kyle.
Oof.
Sorry, Kyle. New character, please.
Melee attack 13.
13. Yeah, that hits a rabbit. The rabbit, you catch onto the back of its tuft. And then they don't have a large amount of hit points, so it immediately just dies as you grab on though it, poor thing. You kill the rabbit. It was your intent anyways to eat it, so whatever. So 2 rabbits have been procured by you and the giant eagle. Those are pretty quick hunt. You guys have only been hunting for, gosh,
It's a few, not even a minute.
We're gonna say 5-ish minutes. All right, 5-ish minutes. Because Mike had to fly up to the top, find the creatures. He saw the stuff he saw, so it's about 5 minutes. Yeah.
I would fly towards. What did I see a call?
After you get your rabbit and you feel it in your talons, you look down, you see it in your talons, you see it's dead with a satisfactory. You then flap and you turn and you see where the other rabbit ran off. And as you see the other rabbit ran off, that's when a call just pounces down on it, grabs it with his 2 fingers, and basically Vulcan kills it, pinching its neck. It dies in his hands. So you see that he caught it, so you do see him, and he's on the ground now.
I would fly towards a call and let go of the rabbit towards him.
So the rabbit then falls, and the call, you catch it with the other hand. So now you have 2 rabbits in your hand. They're reasonable size. They're not super fat, as winter is basically it has recently ended, but they're reasonable sized.
All right. I would a call would yell up. I believe that is enough for now. And he would start heading back to camp.
Okay, so you make your way back. Pyrus, do you follow?
Yep.
Okay, so then a giant eagle suddenly lands in the camp. Thorak, you've already resumed basically like kind of your guard position, ever vigil. A call comes back out of the forest, 6 or 7 minutes later, as so does an eagle, and he has 2 rabbits that I would assume you start skinning and preparing to harvest the meat off of, right? A call.
Yep, make it edible. And does he know about rabbits? Is this new learning?
You're not necessarily familiar with this specific species of creature, but it's a
critter.
It's a critter, so you would figure it's like a rodent or something like that. Not terribly difficult. You would be able to get a fair amount of the meat off of it.
Alrighty.
So are you just gonna cook it the meat raw? I mean, cook it as it is, or are you going to try to make a stew or anything?
Oh no, he's just gonna like cook it as it is.
Okay. Yep. Well, then that's pretty simple. Yep. So with that, the hunting party returned very fucking quick. Is there anything else that maybe you'd like to do?
Roderick
do you
is trying
sending
for a while. Yeah. Just put
Sending.
the paper on the table, but didn't say
All right.
anything.
So are you sure you would still be interested in doing this now that Evelyn is a little distraught? Do you
I
want
think he's
to
cast-
be there with? Do you want to be
casting
there
it.
with Evelyn, or do you want to do this?
It doesn't take that long for the spell. That's
Are you going to? I'm just saying. So you're with her right now. You're gonna say, "1 second, dear. I know you're really perturbed. Let me cast a spell real quick."
Be gone for 10 minutes.
I'm just asking you, Roderick. You tell me.
I would probably tell him to do it anyway if he asked me.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you're doing it. Fine. Damn. All right, so you.
Relina,
1, 2, 3, 4. I can't do her voice for now. That's the unfortunate thing.
Don't worry
1, 2,
about it.
3,
I mean,
4,
it's up
5,
to
Who cares? Who
6,
cares?
7, 8,
matters.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. The 25 letter words to the T. Jeez Louise.
Woo!
All right, so Roderick, you send a sending spell to speak with Relina Lemire. Hey, Relina, are you okay? Where are you? We have made it out of Medan Mountain. Gate is open. Heading to Windheim. News on the war. Let me type something out. She's familiar enough with this magic. No, we're gonna just try to bridge it. All right, so you say that off to the cosmos, right?
Please don't reply with like K
Hard
or
K.
The first thing you hear back in your head is, "Oh God, I can't do it." That was so badly cracked. I can't do it. All right, so there's a very large exclamation of what and a like shrill like. Okay, so
Right.
what? How are you still alive? We all thought you died. I don't even. Where are you again? I don't. Is Evelyn okay? And then she runs out of words.
Porcupine.
Oh shit!
24.
well, I have one more spell slot. Woo!
As he's doing this, do I see Mrs. Evelyn as I come back as an eagle?
Yeah, when you come back, I mean, we're gonna assume that he's done this when you guys were hunting, but you would come back and she's there. You're
I'll
gonna
walk up
start
to her.
typing up another sending spell there, buddy.
Like he is.
Yeah.
All right, fine. All right, we'll decide that. So yes, you see Evelyn.
I would walk up to her.
As an eagle?
Yes.
Oh no.
So an eagle
Did
that's
I see her? Did
It's-
I see her change shape?
it's bigger than this eagle's a giant creature. It's a
Giant.
eagle.
It's,
So I'm
it's
saying, did I
huge.
see her change?
It's a
was
huge
I, was I
creature.
was I in a right frame of mind to actually see her change? Or do I just all of a sudden see an eagle coming at me?
The
Walking at me.
Based on the
Yeah,
body
it's walk-
language of the party, you did see the eagle appear.
Okay.
You don't know it's. I don't know if you would know it's her. You know, just for the sake of ease, yes, you do. I don't really feel there's much to gain out of it right now. So, yes, you know it's her. You know she has the means to at least shape change, whether this is her true form or some magic. She's at least in this form right now.
All right.
The eagle comes close to you and it eyes you for a brief moment. You see there's a little bit of blood in its left talon.
Hello.
I would lift up my left talon towards her. Just like out, not menacingly. The bloody one.
I reach my hand out towards her.
And touch her plumage or her talon or
Her talon, I guess.
okay. You touch the talon. That's a bird talon. I don't know what you're fishing here for, Mike.
All right,
So
there we go.
you do a really awkward bird handshake. Okay, you happy?
Okay.
So like
I
narrate
then
what you
will
tell
switch-
me what you're doing. I don't know what you're fishing for here. Unless you're trying to have a very
the
awkward
giant
moment, then this is
eagle-
what you're getting at. So
The giant eagle will slowly waddle its way over to Evelyn, all by herself. The eagle will lift up its talon as it looks around, as you make a head shake, as the eagle then would become Pyrus. Sorry, I forgot. You need rest, and when I was hunting, there's a town. I point towards the direction. Really close by.
Are there people still there?
I didn't look that far.
sorry. Oh god.
I think Akal is sick. I'm gonna go check on him.
We should probably make our way there anyway. So.
Call's currently
Can
got a little
you-
fire going. He's got the rabbits prepped, and he's just like roasting them, just a stick right through most of the rabbit, just letting it roast there. A silhouette of a carcass of a rabbit.
Smell good?
I mean, it smells like meat starting to cook, so I mean, yeah,
That smells great.
much better than the fatty meats from the Grey Goose, that's for sure.
Oh yeah.
The questionable meats from the Grey Goose.
Can you travel?
I think I'm okay. And I just try to stand up.
So after like another 20 minutes and Roderick's last sending spell, we'll get moving again. So Roderick, is this it right here?
Yes, indeedy.
All right, read it to me, man. You know what? I
Do it.
Sure, you know what? Evelyn, Doma, and I, live with new friends. Medan Greygate, open now.
He sounds like he's a caveman. Reminds me of that
I
episode of The
quit
Office
fire.
with Kevin.
Gate
Good.
open now.
You can just say no open,
Why
but hey,
speak
whatever.
many word, low word, good.
That's what I was going for, but like barbarian. We're heading from Gate to Winheim, how Evelyn Mom, and Winheim.
Well, he could say how's Evelyn's. I mean, he could say the S's, I'm assuming.
This is how we send it.
Merlina's gonna be like, shit, did he hit his head? Like, what the fuck?
He's a
There's
warlock.
there's like 40 seconds go by where there's no reply. And you're like, oh shit, did she get it? Did I not use enough filler words? And then there's okay. Gray gate open. Got it.
Boo, stop giving me
That's 6.
Niera's fine, and I'll tell her that you guys are okay. And then there's nothing, no response after that.
So where's Relina?
She didn't tell me that.
Well,
you
if
can
she's with my
infer.
mom, I guess you could probably infer where she is.
But it seems Winheim is okay, as is your mother.
Oh. Anything else?
I think I need to think about again how I send the messages because I believe she kind of wasted a bit on. I've been like, okay. We should be fine on the way though.
So everything's good, it sounds like.
Yes.
All right, so the setting spell goes off there. Some shenanigans occurred. You went hunting, and you guys pick up your stuff and you start heading. So you eat the meat, a call that you hunted, and it's pretty okay. Nothing spectacular, but it does the job. Fills bellies. 2 rabbits out in this area is not enough for a full party, but those of you that want the fresh meat, eat it. And you guys start heading in the direction that Pyrus pointed you all. As you go traveling for about 15 minutes, you guys start hearing noise along the wind. Of which I need to go get that track. Whoops, not that. Cut that out.
Oh my gosh, we're in a dentist's office.
You're right.
Oh my god. That's the worst noise.
So you hear these faint notes along the wind. Is it working? Good. It sounds like the sounds of pipes and slight drums, and as you continue going forward, it sounds like there's cheers and years and people having a good time as you eventually see a small little buildings popping up in the environment around you. You recognize that you are come quite a distance down the mountain at this point. You've approached basically the bottom of the valley, and effectively there is still forest around you, but you now are entering a bunch of rolling hills. Except this town is on the boundary where the rolling hills and the mountain are transitioning into each other. This town itself in front of you guys has a large amount of buildings that seem to have like kind of a red brick roofs made out of white, some kind of stone or plaster, large amount of wooden buildings and such. You see, from your perspective, that the road that you're on actually goes right into the town, even though it's partially damaged where you are. As it continues going forward, it looks like it's in better and better condition. And then in between these buildings, right down the road, there's these people currently tying up not flyers, like strings with like little brightly colored flags adorned underneath them. They're draped from one building to the other, providing a very festive environment. There's a large amount of people congregated, moving from one point to the other. It looks like these people are preparing for some festival, and there's music currently going. You also do notice that this town seems to be positioned in a way where there is a very sharp gradient down the main road. So the road you're on right now has a very steep incline that is down the center of the town. The town looks like it's basically a very elongated town that's been, one half is built on one side of the road, the other half is built on the other side of the road. And there's a couple little extra blocks that have been added on the side, but the majority of the town is down this very elongated stretch down the middle, which is on the road you're on currently right now. So you imagine it kind of like one of those very, very steep hills in Seattle or in San Francisco, where almost an entire town was built down one road that just goes down a very steep, high gradient incline down. And there's people on ladders putting flags from one side of the road to the other side of the road. And there's this huge network of string with these brightful colored displays. There's a whole bunch of these like attractions, wooden what do you call them? Carts, not carts. Stands, wooden stands that have been built along the side here as people are starting to assemble. You hear like hammers and nailing things down. People are laughing, having a good time. There's a large amount of excitement and atmosphere that's currently present in the city town in front of you. So presumably, I would assume that you guys want to enter, or do you want to go around?
I would be following whoever's leading.
They're preparing
go
for
through the
some
town.
Still
festival.
quite bright.
Yes.
Way too
And
bright.
There has to be an inn, I would think.
and we can get some horses or something.
Provisions. Yeah.
So as you guys
Let's
then
make our way.
you make your way forward. As you start making your way in, you start noticing these. I mean, you're starting to get within, 20 feet of these large amount of people, like moving stuff around. You see two gentlemen. One seems to be that of a relatively buff halfling who's currently he's lifting up a very heavy stack of bale of hay. And there's another guy, which is a very thin human, and he's holding one side, and the halfling looks like he's easily holding up his side, and the human's the one who unfortunately is walking backwards. And he's like, all right, not so fast, not so fast, not so fast, too fast, too fast, too fast. And the halfling, oh, come on, you damn piece of shit. Hi. And they move the bale from one point down the street, further down, and you see there's a huge amount of hay that's been kind of networked together right down the middle of the street into what appears to be like they're making a maze. Right down the middle of the street as they're moving there. You see a large amount of these bales of hay kind of stacked up as people are kind of trying to plot a course down the middle of the road here. You also see several people, several carpenters down the main strip here who are currently hammering away at these what appear to be silhouettes of humanoids. They are kind of like with their hands waved up. One of them's got a woman with like a carriage as she appears to be like walking forward. And you see that these silhouettes of humanoids are some are being painted on by some people in the likeness of humanoid-based creatures, and they seem to be like they're engineering these contraptions where there's people with strings that are pulling them along this railing where the people kind of these silhouettes move, these wooden cutouts move forward and they get pulled backwards, forming what appears to potentially be an obstacle course. And this obstacle course is before the maze of hay. Where you guys are currently at the top of the hill, you see this like wooden platform, several wooden like little platforms where there's people currently gathering around, and there's all these various contraptions in front of you that seem to be that of vehicular transportation. They're all most of them are made out of wood. Some people are currently like trying to do last minute fixes onto these wagons or carts that they have designed. You see one of them that looks to be that in the shape of a giant violin. Where there's apparently a young elven boy with jet black hair. He seems to be kind of a little bit snooty. He's kind of pointing to some manservant and says, no, I need it more up there. I need to gain more speed. Don't worry about the controls, more about speed. He yells the servant, yes sir, right away sir, we'll work on that. Then you hear this high-pitched woman, or young girl on the side. Oh god, I wish I could do it right now. It's your stereotypical rich snob laugh of fuck. And she's got her hand. Thank you. Yes.
Hoity-toity.
Yeah, very hotty-toddy off to the side. And she's got like a fan in front of her, and she's got her like a fan waving herself down. Her hand's very feminine on her side as she's laughing into the back of her hand. She appears to be probably in the ballpark of maybe 11 years old. She has bright red curly hair. She's kind of like all these very extravagant gems upon her body as she is in front of a vehicle that looks like it's a giant diamond. It looks like it's got a whole, you can tell it's wood, and there's effectively like they're gluing or they're enchanting diamonds to affix to this wood surface. And this thing's probably worth, in the ballpark of 2,000 something gold, but this girl here is basically making a gem encrusted cart. There's an assortment of different vehicles that are present to you guys currently where you are right now, as well as a large amount of stands in front of you that are currently got some people currently doing things. You see things from like archery, large amount of food being distributed to this little festival community in front of you. You see one guy currently near where all these flatbed area where these carts or these wagons of sorts are being kind of assembled and moved to. Last minute changes are being put upon them. You see there's this like little heightened pew of sorts where there's a guy with a very big top hat. It's an elder gnomish individual with a very, very long white mustache. No beard, just a mustache that goes about twice the size of his head out on the sides of him. And there's so much wax in it that it comes out to these very long points. Effectively, anyone that would stand next to him, if he turned his head, they would get whacked by his mustache. He's currently talking to some taller human next to him, a male with really burly muscles with hair coming out the side of it, your standard lumberjack of sorts, and he is currently like covering his hand over what appears to be some kind of megaphone or receptacle like that to a talking cone to announce out to people, and he's currently trying to whisper or conspire with this individual to his side as you guys are now making your way in. The people don't seem bothered by you at all. They seem to be too interested in their affairs or having fun or enjoying or drinking. There does seem to be a large amount of congregation of people moving to the sides as it appears that this spectacle that you're about to, that's being organized here is about to come to fruition soon. What would you guys like to do while you're in this town?
Any guards or anything that I can see?
Make a perception check.
The first thing she has
Did we
to
see any
look for.
stables when we came through though?
What was that?
Did we see any stables or anything like that when we were initially coming through?
Make a perception check as well, Roderick.
13.
13. So you were looking for, what was it again?
Just a guard or someone who looks like they're in charge.
There do appear to be some militia or guard of sort. They aren't wearing matching armor, so you think it's probably more of a local militia, and there's not a large amount of them. They seem to be more actually participating in the festivities, but you can tell that they are probably guard because they have weapons on them that are clearly displayed. And they all have one similar motif. They all have these very thin, like aluminum almost hats that they have on their head. They're kind of I should say cone on top, and they have this really wide brim around it, very thin in nature. And every single one of them has that. So you do see, probably in the ballpark of, at least in your current perspective, about 8 of them out there. There's 2 of them near this one gnome who's up on this like little stadium talking to this other burly lumberjack kind of guy. So you recognize that guy's probably a VIP, mayor or governor of the town. And the other ones out there are just trying to keep peace relatively at the moment. And then Roderick, what did you roll? 10. While you don't see necessarily a stable, you do see people. You do see a large amount of animals gathered and like hitched to like one post, and there's several giant drinking troughs near that post. So you do get the notion that there probably is a stable, but a lot of the stable is not really being used right now because these animals are being used to help move things around at the moment.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So there's like these little like outposts for them, the animals to get breaks and such. And there's a large amount of movement, just people moving and trying to assemble the stuff in front of you, as well as all these other attractions on the side.
Well, walking through. Is there anybody nearby?
Should we maybe talk to someone in charge and see, at least let them know that Madan, the gate's open? Madan?
Well, that one short individual on the stage seems to be having a lot of attention.
Yeah, but I don't know that they're gonna be. I'm gonna approach one of the people that looks like they'd be a guard.
Okay, you go up to one of these individuals who's currently right now he's at what appears to be like these giant buckets of water, and there's these floating red objects inside of it, which you recognize are apples. And there's several very young kids currently trying to bob for apples, and he's currently laughing at one of them. Oh, Susie, you're never gonna get that with that, right? You gotta open your mouth bigger. And this girl pulls her head out, and she's got this really brown hair with it's really curly and matted against her face, and she gives a really mean scowl to this guy that's standing next to her, and he kind of slaps in her back. Come on, go back in there, and he just pushes her head right back into the water. And she's like kind of like trying to push herself out. Looks like he's almost drowning her. Eventually lets go of her though as he sees you walk up to him. Oh, hello. What can I do for you?
Hello. Who would be in charge of the town? Who would we talk to if we want to talk to someone who would be in charge?
Well, the main lead organizer is High Perched Timms. That's the man over there on the stadium up there. The one with the very elegant hat.
Thank you very much.
That's it?
This festival, what is it for specifically?
This festival? Oh, this is the...
Not what it is.
March of Ingenuity. Here at Pypel, we always support the entrepreneur, and you know, this is where the crossbow was engineered, right? Right here in Pypel. We're the ones that had that marvelous feat of engineering developed here, and so engineers around the world come here to show off their lumber's craftsmanship, and we always have a large amount of events in place to help entice people to come back here every year to show off off of our entrepreneur and engineering spirit. And in fact, today we have a very special feat. We have, as you can see, they're currently assembling up this well, I guess they're calling a derby of sorts, where they have all these young tykes trying to show off who can design the fastest form of locomotiveness, I guess.
This is pretty amazing.
Yeah. Well, I have to thank your town, because I actually do use a crossbow on the very occasion.
Yep, we save many lives with our ingenuity.
Thank you.
There is the what do you call it? Museum down the left-hand side of the street down there. Do avoid the right side, folks. They're not too right in the head. So I would recommend you go down there and take a visit sometime. They got a lot of interesting information about how we came into the construction and creation of that there crossbow.
We'll check that out. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
He did become a South Virginian right there. You're right. I don't have my voice right now, so I couldn't do what I wanted to do. So quiet you.
It's fine. All right, I'm gonna make my way over to High Perched Tim's.
Yeah, Tim's.
Is that what his name was?
I don't like that Tim's. I should have made a better name. Let's call him Tynes. Tynes. There we go. Tyns. High Perched Tynes.
I'll make my way to High Perched Times.
Okay. So you make your way over to the stand, and this is a gnome who's maybe in his elderlish years, but that impossibly large mustache, and he is taller than you right now. Not necessarily his actual height, but because of the stand. And he's currently talking to that gentleman. The gentleman sees you approach, and this burly man and the two guards, and the burly man actually puts his hand up towards Tynes, and he comes down to you. Is there something you need, miss?
Hi, your High Perched Times?
Depends who's asking.
We're just passing through, but we had some news from Madan we wanted to share with you.
Well, I don't know why you're passing through. I mean, you didn't come here to see the March of Ingenuity?
Well, actually, I'm really intrigued about that, and I'm interested to see what's happening here.
Well, it's the yearly festival to tote off our stuff, because you know, here's where we created the crossbow that saved millions of lives and helps keep Windheim safe every year.
That's amazing.
Damn straight it is amazing.
Anyway, I just wanted to let you know that the Grey Gate is open.
The what?
The gate to Madan?
Are you... He turns to the guy and you see him kind of try to whisper something. The burly man shrugs. Okay, the cat is in the barn, and he gives you a wink.
A call would step up. No, I'm not. I'm right here, actually.
I love it.
When he whispered, did he cover his mouth over to the guard?
He covered part of it, but no, you could see his lips.
Oh, really?
Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah.
what did the person say?
Yeah.
Might I?
Do you guys speak common? Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Right.
Oh, I don't know about that.
So what he basically said, from my two observant fuckers, what you saw him say was effectively your lip reading ability. In case my audience doesn't know, 2 of our party members can read lips as long as they know the language. What he said was that I don't know what the fuck she's talking about. Is this some kind of code? And then the guy responded back, I don't fucking know. And then just go along with it. And then that's when he replied, yes, the cat is in the barn, of which now a call has responded. No, I'm right here. And so now Tynes is like scratching the back of his head. I see. Well, you're free to participate with any of our festivity.
No.
and
No, what?
any visitor is highly encouraged. I hope you have a large amount of coin and you partake in the ingenuity and engineering spirit while you're here.
Sir, what she meant is that in the mountain, you know, the gate
In the
that
mountain.
once held the dwarves. That once held the dwarves. You know that, right?
It's been closed for centuries.
Been closed for centuries. Yes.
They probably don't know, actually.
They might not know.
In the mountains, there are lots of berries, and he winks to you again.
No.
It's okay. Once they start seeing a bunch of dwarves come down the mountain, maybe they'll get it then. It's fine.
We'll just report it to Windheim's dad, first.
Yes.
So.
Can you tell me where the
They'll figure
inn
it out
is?
eventually.
Well,
There's
there's
an inn.
two main inns. There's the Happy Hoppers on the left-hand side, and then there's the Better Inn, the Bouncing Bunnies on the right-hand side. I recommend you go to the hand side of the town.
What? Someone mentioned something about a left and right side earlier. What exactly is the town split in some way?
Oh, the left-hand side was conspired by those lunatics that thought that they developed the crossbow, but over on the right-hand side, we know that we actually developed it. They are trying to ride on our coattails, as it were.
Aren't you all one town?
Well, technically speaking, yes, we
So it's
are.
the town's achievement.
It is a town's achievement. You are correct. Pypel is the place to be. It's just that on the right-hand side, we are better people.
I would like to ask. I heard that the museum is on the left side, correct?
Oh no, don't! You don't want to go to that drabbish place. No,
Can
no.
I
You should go to the right-hand
Can
side.
I-
That's where
can I
true
insight
history is.
Right.
So you said something about bringing money. Is there like a big market?
I mean, yes. Look around you. There's stands leading the way. There's food, drink. We have things from the log toss where you could earn more coin competing against your peers. There's the great tug of war event that we'll be having later on after this derby here. The derby is the main attraction. This is the thing where we're showing off our Yunnin's ability to craft expertmanship vehicles to see what can be the more efficient way to get goods from one place to the other. Now, of course, these things are designed with in mind to be based off of gravity, but there is a very interesting part near the end of the race where they get to use any kind of contraption they have to give them a boost of locomotive speed. So we get to see how our Yunnins are designing here. I mean, we're the place that you develop new technology in. I know we don't really look that grand because we have a lot of wood stuff, but we are expert craftsmen in carpentry.
Sounds amazing. Thank you very much.
Perhaps these people could invent something to deal with the sun, right? Look over to Carl.
You do see that there is a plethora of stands that have
Like hats and
masks
stuff?
and hats, yes.
Perhaps a hat will help?
I think I have an idea, Carl.
I see where you're going with this.
Let's go check it out.
We're checking out the hat mask shop.
Oh dear.
Okay. So as you move over to one of the hats or mask shops, there's a small little line, and it's not like a line front to back. They're kind of just conglomerate in the front horizontally. What you do see and up in the front is a heavier set female dwarf woman. She's got a very thick mole on her right cheek that's kind of prominently displayed there. That could be cancerous, could not be. Whether our people know what cancer is a completely different debate at the moment. But she's still living her life, and she's currently handing off one of these bright yellow masks to this child beneath him. The kid gleefully puts in like a cup of copper into her hand as he grabs the mask. He puts it over his face, and he immediately turns to the two of you. Boo! He yells. Well, he tries to yell with my crappy voice acting skills at the moment. Fuck, I'm ruining all of Pypel because of this stupid voice. Oh, it's so frustrating. All right, so the kid goes boo to you, and then he just runs laughing away. down the street, basically.
No, I'm just kidding.
There's another set of individuals, a couple other kids who are kind of like trying, like, I want that one, and there is a elderly human male here. Is currently not necessarily hunched over, but he's also on the side, just kind of like looking at these masks at the moment, at this exact point in time.
You guys gonna get some hats or something?
Well, something to block the sun.
Yeah, that'll do you well.
Scanning over these masks and hats, do I see any that would be beneficial, just blocking out the sun, helping us out?
So as you're looking
Well, like
at
sunglasses,
well, so there's
basically.
there's a giant sun hat. Make a perception check at disadvantage, good
Oh.
sir, because they're in direct
Oh.
sunlight.
Can I cancel that disadvantage by helping him?
If you use what?
Can I help?
Well, I
It
think-
doesn't matter. It doesn't
I
matter.
think we would have to help. No, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Literally, they're
Shit.
blind leading a lie. Blind.
So can I assist them?
Well,
in
hold
some
on. I
way?
didn't know what they rolled. They haven't said anything.
Disadvantage, yeah?
Yeah.
Nat 1.
Okay.
Oh. 15.
15. All right.
Oh,
So
That's not
there's a
bad.
couple wider brim hats. There's one that's got like a giant sunflower plus. It's probably for a female, but it would do the job. That one seems to stand out the best to you. But as you like look towards it, the man in front of you, actually, this older man, he's like, "I'll take that one," and that is given to the old man. The old man turns, and what you see before you is, Kyle, would you please give us a character description of your character real quick?
Oh, shit. All right, this is how I'm in here? All right.
Yeah, well, we didn't really firm it out too great, so this is how we're doing it, man.
All right.
I asked you, I tried to work with you, okay? So
I got it. All right. So, in front of you is a human. He is quite old. He is definitely approaching the later years of his life. He is light frame, about, you could guess 135 stones. Fair skin. He's got scattered age spots all over his face. He's wearing a dark blue robe with a hood. And he's carrying a big brown leather-bound book. He's got a nice pair of thin brown spectacles that give a little gleam on the lens. He has this sort of hunched, stooped posture that looks like maybe suffering from osteoporosis. His spine can't support the weight of what he weighs anymore. Yeah. And he's got a nice, thick gray beard. His hair's definitely into the white, going from the gray towards the white, but he still has a few gray strands in there. I think that covers it.
and he has currently placed this sunflower hat on top of his hood. So he's wearing a hood with the hat on top of it at the moment.
Oh, yes, this looks wonderful. Oh, yes. Oh, did you want this?
We're looking for something to block the sun. Maybe not that in particular.
Have you thought of a tree?
Oh, band, of course.
What was that? You said buy another horse?
Well, we should look for horses, but that's beside the point.
Yes. Are there any more? Let's look for more hats, I guess.
There are other hats there, in front of it, in the stand. So with that in mind, what are you looking for there, Roderick? There's things from like the fancy top hats to crazy, wacky jester hats with bells and whistles on the
Something
side
with
of them.
wide brims is what we're looking for, right?
Yeah.
The
something with, like,
last
a
wide
bill or
brim
something like
hat is
that.
the one that Baldric has right now.
Is there anything with like I guess like a duck bill type one?
Like a snap cap?
Like a baseball
Yeah,
cap.
I was
No,
yeah,
there's
yeah,
no
baseball cap.
baseball snap.
Oh.
Or like a visor, like a fancy visor.
Nope. No, none of that.
Is there anything with a brim at all?
There is, what do you call that? A bowler hat. So there's a little small
Oh,
brim. It's
that
not
might
it's not
work.
gonna block the sun out of your
Small,
eyes
but
unless
not
it's
much,
it's
yeah.
noon. So that's not
What
gonna
about
really
like
help
a-
you. There's
what about
there's
like a
fezzes. There's
Hold on.
what else were there?
Fezzes are cool.
Would I have a helmet to go with my armor?
you said you. I mean, if I recall correctly, you said you didn't have a helmet when you described your character, so I don't think you have one.
Oh, god damn it.
Oh.
Oh, rip.
Should have described yourself
So
better.
Baldric, make a medicine check. And you don't really have a zone on your own, so you'll have to take someone else's dice there, buddy.
Here, let's consolidate Pete's dice, and then
My die.
Or
yeah.
do I have to roll
Go
in
ahead.
game, or can I roll? On my
Everyone
tab?
else has to roll in game.
Oh shit.
Here's some D20.
Jerk, he doesn't let us
You can-
roll
you
in
can
real
color 'em.
life. Makes me mad.
What other die do you need besides D20s?
What the hell? Why am I
A
rolling
lot
so
of
many?
D20s. Well, we like to
You
throw
got
in
a fireball. Hold on, wait a minute.
Are those all the
Yeah.
bad D20s? Did you just give him your
Yeah.
crap pile?
No, 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 no,
We have
no, no,
dice
no,
jail.
no, no, no,
Had,
no,
yeah.
no. I
We've got
gave him
dice
some from my bag. Look,
Honestly,
right
it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. I don't believe in like bad luck dice.
All right, so Kyle, can you please roll a D20 and then add your medicine?
My medicine?
Oh,
What am I?
You're doing a
investigating?
medicine check. Yeah.
For what?
on
I want you to do a medicine
the
check.
guy that's blind.
All right, all right. God, that's hard to see. Ooh. So let's see
Really?
here. Let me look at my medicine.
Ooh.
That is a 29.
29.
Roller.
So you recognize that two of these people are having what you would prescribe as, effectively in layman's terms, sunlight sensitivity. They do not. They're struggling very heavily here in the direct sunlight. They're squinting very much. It looks like they kind of have maybe like a little bit of balance issues. And so it doesn't look like they're under like an affliction with disease or anything like that. Just that they are not accustomed to direct sunlight. At the moment.
Come here. I just walk up and put my hand up onto one of their faces and just kind of like make them look to the left and then make them look to the right. Track my finger, and I move it from left to right so their eyeball has to track my finger. Interesting. I say you're suffering from sunlight sensitivity. You're probably used to being underground or something, probably. You really should get out of the sun, drink plenty of fluids, and slowly acclimate towards the bright, burning fireball in our sky.
Define
How long
slowly.
will it,
Define
how long will
slowly,
it
please.
take to adjust, roughly, in your guesstimate?
DM.
So Kyle, you're missing a little bit of information here. You would need to know a little bit more about your patient's history to make that judge call. So from your perspective, most people are underground for this is like more of like a minor thing. If miners are in there for a long period of time, it usually fades within, an hour or two. But you don't know that these guys have been there their entire life. This is a pretty severe case. At this point, you recognize there's signs of some severity here. So you, with your high roll, you can guess that they've probably been underground for maybe they got trapped in a mine for like a week or something like that, right? But your best guesstimates right now are, so you're gonna go, oh geez, in a case like this, it's probably gonna take a day or two.
Boy, you poor souls. How long have you stuck down there? I mean, normally it clears up pretty quickly, but I'd have to guess, a few weeks, especially if you take it easily.
We don't have that kind of time. Is there anything else you could suggest?
Yes, please. Anything.
There is a remedy that you could concoct if you have the ingredients back at your shack.
Well, I suppose if I, and he starts like scribbling in the air, like he's taking notes in his mind, even though you're all in front of him. I suppose if yes, I have some supplies. That could be at handy back at my abode. If you'd like to come with me, it's not cheap though, because of some of my more rare herbs around this area. But I could throw something together for you.
What you need?
Anything is worth the eyesight, trust me. I'll just follow him.
Well, I'll just take the hat I'm wearing, just stick it over him.
Which helps, yeah. It helps
All
immediately.
right.
So Thor, you get the hat, it comes pour a cool off the
the
side.
festivities before we leave.
Well,
Well,
I mean,
then
these
I'll
two
just see
can't
them.
really enjoy anything, so
Right. So I just start walking off towards my house.
Okay.
We'll just follow him. I
So
follow
just
him.
make sure, check what the group is doing first.
So, Kyle, the thing is that you would know that there's two sides of the community. There's the Santen side, which is the right-hand side, and then there's the Handhoths, which is the left-hand side. Which side did you want to be part of?
Oh wait, I just gotta make a choice here.
Yeah, you gotta choose which
Choice,
side.
choice.
When you came here, they said which side do you want to be. You know, there's this feud between the
Let's
Handhoths
remember
and
this.
the Santens.
Oh man, it sucks. All right, whatever side I'm on now is the side I'm gonna have my house on.
Right now. All right, so that would be technically the left side. So you're on the Handhoth side. All right, Handhoths.
He looks like a Handhoff.
Yeah.
See, that's how I have the
You
sun
mean
hat.
Hasselhoff.
Ooh.
I'll get the hammer out and also just put it on the edge and like make a makeshift umbrella and try and walk along with the cow.
It's a hat. Like
It's very tiny, but
it is
I
not
can make
that
it
much
work.
protection.
All right, so you guys follow off this old man who moves at a
Wow.
reasonable pace, and then eventually he gets to this really debilitated shack that looks like it's kind of falling in on itself. Doesn't look like there's a lot of money passing around on this poor individual, unfortunately. Kyle, you make your way up, or I'm sorry, Baldric, you make your way up to the door. You pull out a large key ring with like, several keys on it. Shakingly, you put one in the door, you unlock it, and you enter inside your abode, as you put it.
Please come in, don't mind the
Sorry.
Yes.
Excuse me. What's your name, sir?
I'm just gone in the house. I didn't. I'm gone.
So as you guys come in after the old man, it's a lot darker. So Akal and Thorak immediately there's reprieve from the direct sunlight. You see you see Baldric as he's making his way over to the back, and Baldric is a little clumsy in the darkness, so he kind of bumps into like a barrel of sorts or something.
Who put that there? Oh, me, right.
Do you need any help navigating?
Oh, I'm fine. I'll cast a light in the room.
All right, so you cast a light on
Right in front of their faces. Just BAM! A light.
So Kyle, go ahead and describe to us your shack, as you put it.
I didn't call it a shack. You did.
Fine. Well, you called your abode. I thought it was a shack. All right. See, this is the kind of stuff I hope we firmed out a little bit better. But okay, what did you? I thought you wanted to live in a shack.
Oh. So, this is the Ritz, the upper class levels of slumhood. This has got nearly falling over walls. There's like definitely, when it's raining, there are definitely multiple leaks all throughout the house. There's this one area though that seems to be pretty well guarded, away from the clutter, the darkness, the dirt, and that's the table near some bookshelves. No, I wouldn't call it a shack. We'll call it the upper tier of
The
upper
class
class living.
of slumhood.
Yes, of slumhood. So the one area that's clear though, that seems to be the one area that he will definitely take care of the most is the table where there's several scrolls and parchments and some beakers and books and like a kind of a bookshelf. So definitely get the area that he's more of a learned individual that really cares for like knowledge. But the rest of living arrangements, yeah, it doesn't look too good.
So out of curiosity, did you actually have like
An interesting house, to say the least.
a name for this dwelling? Is it like, is there anything like a title or anything above the door?
Do you have a title for your house?
My house.
No, I'm just
Wow.
just making sure. Okay. So
Welcome to the pantry.
Pantry?
Thank you for having us.
It's not really a pantry.
You said your name was.
My name?
Yes.
Who are you again?
I'm Evelyn.
And the rest of you?
I'm Thorak.
Zoma Zarte.
Roger
Call him
Greycrow.
Broken Peaks.
Not all at once, let's see here. And then he turns back to Evelyn. And your name was what again?
Evelyn Zestira.
Okay, and then he turns to the other people. And your names are?
Zomazarte.
One at a time.
All right, one more time. And he turns back to Evelyn.
Evelyn Sestira.
Zomazarte.
Pyrus? Wait, actually,
I'm Thorak.
Right. Got it. Well, my name... What was I doing again? I came here for potions. Right, I'm gonna fix the sun sensitivity. Doesn't answer you. Just goes off and starts digging through his, Well, it's not really a chest. It's more of like a box that he probably got when he got some fruit or something. You know, like a banana box or something like that. And inside is just random squibbling of herbs and stuff that are kind of sort of tagged and cataloged. And he just starts rummaging through there. Yes, an upper class box.
Yep. So after some fidgeting, he eventually procures a small like little pedestal and mortar, and you see him kind of move around to a different part of his little shack where he digs through some sacks. He's got sacks of various goods that he kind of pulls down. He starts like kneading out some kind of paste into this little thing. He grabs the liquid from like a little small vial he has, he pours it in there, he kneads it a little bit more, and there's this really thick paste that eventually, after about like 5 minutes of you guys just watching him hurtling around from one point of his shack to another point, he eventually comes out with this thick black paste, and he moves up to well, actually, I don't know if you remember which one has the sunlight sensitivity.
Actually, I don't. So, I not only did I come back with the paste, I come back up with a few scrolls. All right, let's get to the very beginning. Before I administer medicine, I need to make sure that I give the right dosages. So I'm going to need your full patient's information right here. Name again, please. And I pull out a pen.
Thorak Dawnbreaker.
Thorak. All right. Thorak. Your race?
Orc, I think.
You don't know where you are?
Well, I think I'm an orc. There may be some other lineage I've been told, but I'm not fully aware.
Maybe
I
half
will
orc?
I will kind of stare at him.
Probably something mixed.
I get any discernment about his physiology?
In this case, I would say make a medicine check for sure.
D&D doctor's appointment.
That'd be a 24.
So
doctor
with
isn't.
a gauge, he definitely looks like a mix of an orc, so you would fit in the realms of half orc. To be fully certain, you would need to use some kind of like magic to divine, or maybe a full physical evaluation would be necessary, possibly.
Well, we can't have that, shall we? All the rest of you out except Thorak. We need to do a thorough physical investigation.
What?
I look
does
at
that-
him like, sorry?
Roger cost. Good luck.
Wait, hold on. I never signed up for this. What?
Take your armor off, please.
I look at
I
the rest
think I
of the
might
group.
still have a dressing gown somewhere, and I go back over to my box. That's our machine.
As he's like pulling things out, he's got like, he pulls like a tea kettle that looks like it's kind of got caked with tea that's been there for a long time. He's got a cup. It's in a similar situation. You just see his shack is pretty ramshackle, and he doesn't really give too much of a shit about his living arrangement. So you do eventually find, a cloth gown that would suit for the needs here.
Will it fit him?
I mean, it's more meant for a toddler or a kid, so
Okay.
it's
It'll
not
do.
really.
Put this on. Said him.
This is tiny.
You
Oh,
still have your armor on. Take your armor off.
Everyone else is still in the shack at the moment.
Yeah, Roderick leaves.
I better back.
Roderick's out of here. No.
I say, Thorak, he might be able to help you see better, so just let him do what he has to do, okay?
Mm.
Not sure I trust. Okay. Yeah.
Unless, do you want someone to stay
luck.
with you?
Less complaining, more medicine. Come on.
All right.
Some of us have much less time than others, like myself included.
It's 10 minutes to take off heavy armor, so it'll take me a
Go
while.
outside.
Alright, so after about 20 minutes, eventually, Kyle's character.
Oh, you don't want to roleplay all that?
No.
No?
we unfortunately.
Turn to the left and cough.
Cough, cough.
Okay, so yes, we could, but we're low on time. That's the reality, right? So budget. You're great. It could have been entertaining. All right. So in the end, you do get a relative physical evaluation of him, and you deduce he is a half orc, probably human, potentially as the other lineage. He talked about some of his history with you, that he came from in the mountain, which seems perplexing to you, but does seem does seem to line up with his sunlight sensitivity. Whether you're phased by
the mountain.
Yeah, in Medan Mountains, which is a place that's been closed off for millennia. And you've never had anyone come from there before, but he's like, yeah, I just came from out of there right now. So
If I could add a comment, seeing as you would see me basically naked, or rather the top half of his body. If you've ever played The Witcher, basically what you see is Geralt essentially just scars
shit.
all sorts of shit. Like
Wow.
hundreds of different types and sizes.
Man, it's a good thing you left in the mountain because it doesn't look like a very nice place.
Well, it certainly isn't. Well, wasn't.
Well, welcome to, where am I again? Pypel?
Oh, that's,
Anyways,
certainly-
so yes, given your height and this and just some calculations, yes, and then I'll get enough of the paste to add a bit into a drought and mix it up and hand him a little potion. You'll take this every 30 minutes for the next 3 hours. Be sure to avoid the sunlight as much as possible, but the last 30 minutes of the next 3 hours, you will want to be in the sun. Yes, that sort of acclimates you over a gradual period of time, which will expedite the process most indubitably.
Okay, I
Thank you, and I
understand
push
this.
him out in the gown, out of the house.
How do I ingest this?
So suddenly Thor
Has like no clothes on.
yeah, all he has is his
I push him
gown.
out without his clothes on, with with the toddler gown.
A call is next. Oh god.
So cool. So
Next patient.
I call like longingly looks back to the group, then
It'll be
looks
okay.
back into the shed.
Next
walks in.
patient.
Good luck. Good luck.
Is there a window nearby?
Oh no.
can
Oh, no.
can Baldric afford windows, Kyle?
No, it's a shack.
Might
Like a-
be like a hole
like
in
a-
the wall.
Is there any
Wait,
holes
like-
in the
Can
wall?
we hear what they were talking about then?
Oh, there's some cracks for sure. Oh, now it's a
There's a
shack.
lot of cracks.
All right,
There's
so-
no-
If you whittle around one corner of the walls are not quite sealed very well. So yeah, but there's no windows. There's just the entrance in and out.
Iris, you dirty girl.
It looks like
I
he
would
might have
like to-
repurposed like a tool shed or something into a home.
I would like to study.
What?
Okay,
So-
so Pyrus moves off to one side to find a vantage point, and you do find one, and where Kyle described some more open cracks in the walling, of which Akal enters. Akal strips at the insistent need. Akal, you do see as you're stripping the belongings of Thorik still in the room. Baldric cannot seem to find another gown, so he's just like, all right, well, we'll just do it as it is, I guess.
I mean, it calls like he's not wearing much anyway.
Right. And so you spend a far faster period of time, like, within 10 minutes, Kyle, you deduce that, or Baldric deduces that he is a tabaxi, full-blood tabaxi. That he does have these, what appears to be a heavy burn scars on his back that, you might be able to get an ointment from him if you could get some root. God, where's my herbs? Fuck. Auric herbs. I haven't looked at these in forever.
You need some root beer. Yes, lots of root beer.
You would,
Oh, sarsaparilla, they call it.
you
Ooh,
would
that's
want.
really
Where the heck is it? Where's that root?
I'm rooting for you.
You're just as bad as potato. Oh my god.
I
Yeah,
love it.
thistle wastle.
Oh my
If you could
God.
get some thistle wastle, you could, which is a root that kind of is found intermixed with roots and giant trees. So there's
We need to wassail for some thistle wassail to really.
We need to find the root of this problem.
Yes,
Leave
and
him
I'll-
alone, guys.
Yes, you're quite right. We need to get right to the root of the problem, which is the burn marks and the sunlight sensitivity. Your tabaxi. I think.
Just the sunlight sensitivity. The burn.
Yes, no, the burns too. Yes, we'll need to take care of that as well. Yes.
No.
No. Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. So what we're going to do is I'm going to, and then you start rummaging and get another little draught out and explain the process again. So you're going to drink this one for the last guy was 3 hours. Cats. Cats like you'll need to drink this over the next 4 hours actually, and the last 30 minutes you'll need to be in the sun, but the rest of the time you need to be out of the sun. All right? Wonderful.
Right.
Out you go. I push him out of the house.
Make sure I grab my backpack as I'm being pushed out.
Nope. Out you go.
I would wait. My
And then as he
backpack is
leaves, I
still
slam the door shut.
He doesn't.
I
You
run
don't.
over to
You
his-
don't.
You
You
didn't-
I'm
don't
gonna
hear
run
him
over to his
walk.
gear.
Stuff.
I'm gonna run over to his gear and start rummaging through
Oh
it.
my god.
What the
Wow.
fuck?
See, as he's pushed out and our gear is still in there, I'm getting
Do
in
I
there.
see this as I'm looking
Yes,
through
you
the
see.
hole?
You see Baldrick hurtling his way
do.
back over to the gear. Whose gear are you rummaging through? Thoric's or? Or
Whose
it
gear
calls.
seems the most accessible to rummage through?
It calls. seems
I
more
would have a
accessible.
bunch of junk in mine. A bunch of extra.
Yeah, but I don't know that.
So well, no, so you can see, like, not well organized. So
So you would go to a call's gear.
Okay.
So now the
So
thing is, the
I'm
pirates
looking for-
sees you do this, and you didn't say you locked the door, so the door is completely openable still.
Yeah.
Just
Reopen
open
the
the
door.
door.
I'm getting in there too.
So
Is
you
it
guys
that
come
your
back.
Stuff?
You see Baldrick. He's currently digging his way through. Kyle, make a quick investigation check.
Okay.
And what are you looking for specifically, or just interesting?
That's not very good. I'm looking for anything that bears the mark of worms worth, basically.
Yeah, okay.
So investigation. Well, actually, damn, I'm still at 11.
You find no worm's worth on any of his belongings, but then you see the door open, light comes into your room, and then there they are, seeing you digging through their belongings.
I have a very
hell?
wonderful explanation. you'll
Better
you'll
explain it.
definitely enjoy this. I cast invisibility.
Oh my god. So suddenly Kyle did Baldrick, this old man,
wait,
disappears
hold on.
from you.
Can I cast counterspell when I see him casting something?
Oh.
Yes. So Baldrick, you cast invisibility, you think you're invisible, but as you look down, you're still visible to everyone around you, and they're just
I
looking
want
at
to
you.
tackle him.
No. Explain now.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing him cast the
Well,
spell and
that's
quickly
weird. The
counter.
spell really should have gone off. I'm gonna try casting
I
invisibility.
tackle him. I tackle
I
him. quickly.
counterspell again. I can't. It's a reaction. I can only do it
Well,
once,
he's
right?
casting a new action, so
Yeah.
his turn, so you could counterspell again.
I'll counterspell again.
As
they're
you
having a
counterspell the
wizard-
second attempt of invisibility, Thoric,
just
the
don't
orc,
hold-
basically pins Kyle down. Kyle, make an acrobatics or athletics check. Thoric, make an athletics check.
Oh man.
While they're all doing that, Akal's just gonna walk over, grab his backpack, and head out of the shack.
Good idea.
Acrobatics or athletics?
Yeah.
Well, I feel, man. So what's 6?
So yes, this giant orc that you just half orc you just did a physical on. He's pinning you down and you can't move, and your bones are hurting a little bit.
Oh
And you're still not invisible
Explain.
either. So
Be careful, you may end up killing him.
Explain.
Very careful. We'll be having none of those spells, thank you.
I'm pretty sure you broke something.
Well, you better start explaining, and we'll let you go.
What am I explaining? Who are you?
Why are you looking through their inventory? They're bags.
I don't trust either any of you people. Suddenly you show up in this town with weird people. I know Wormsworth sent you. I know it. I'm gonna find the proof.
I don't know who that is. We came from the Madan mines.
So convenient, isn't it?
No, it's the truth.
Oh, here's one piece of truth. I still have a trick up my sleeve. I'm gonna cast Misty Step out the door.
Okay. So you cast Misty Step. You now appear, you're about... so not everyone was able to get in your shack. So as you peer out there, now you're like next to Doma, Aniel, and everyone else was inside. So Doma and
Would that be
Aniel, the
as
old
I'm
man just
walking out?
appears next to you, the two of them.
Do I see this? Because I'm outside looking in.
No, see, you're on the side of the wall in the middle, so he's broken your vantage point. So he just disappears in a puff of smoke. Thorak, you just fall into the ground where you were previously pinning him. But you do hear the old man, like, kind of, as he stands up, and he's currently outside next to Doma and Aniel.
I'm gonna
Don't stop him.
I'm gonna like tip like my I had a hat, milady, and then start making a break for it.
Don't you?
Um,
Oh,
Alright,
you
so
don't have-
Doma would be smart enough, I think, here. I think he would be, since he's not participating.
When I said Doma, stop
yeah,
him.
so he's gonna go ahead
I
and
would've
try to
yelled
grab
that.
you. So once again, buddy, go ahead and try to...
Oh yeah, my two best
Yeah,
abilities.
just trying to worm your way past me right up me.
Come on,
you
dice.
wizard.
Oh,
So,
that's a 19.
Doma rolled a 6 plus athletics plus 6. A 12.
Oh boy.
Failure.
Uh-oh.
So the Baldric manages to rein himself free.
Unless he luckies it.
Oh, yeah, lucky. Do it.
Did you want to?
I'd like to lucky it.
All right.
Oh, there he is.
It's not any better. It's worse. It's a 7.
That sounds about right. I'm back,
So,
guys. I'm
Doma
not even
reaches
there.
out to
Okay,
grab
okay.
him, but
I'm
he just
back.
he grabs on the clothes, and the clothes manages to slip out of his fingers. Baldric, you start booking for it.
Yeah,
How
and as
far
I'm
is he
running
right now?
away, I'll say,
How far is he?
Oh, so as you pop out of the back, as he's basically, running as fast as the old man can, he's 40 feet away from you.
Cast telekinesis, and I want to basically use it on him to hold him up, suspend him in the air.
Well, here's the thing. So I left the building after I grabbed my stuff. So wouldn't I have been outside?
Okay, we'll let a call go first. Sure,
True.
call try to grapple him before Broderick does anything.
Sure.
"You
Kyle
damn
go-
ruffians,
Kyle.
let me go!"
Oof. What's a grapple check based off of?
You have to do athletics, and Kyle can do acrobatics or athletics.
Oh shit! Come on, dice. 11.
22.
All right,
Oh,
so
shit.
You get grabbed. You now recognize you might have made enemies with a little bit too many people. Is that you just don't have the skills to handle all the things they're throwing at you at the same time. So the party kind of more or less busts out of your shack as they kind of regroup on the street, and then Call's kind of grabbed you by the back of your hood, and you're unable to move forward.
Oh,
We just want to talk. It is.
yes, talk sounds very good. Put me down and we'll talk.
I will.
Talk
if
and
you
we'll
don't
put you
run.
down.
Just
No,
wait,
I
let's
like
try to
mine
Misty
better.
Step away again.
I'd like to take my stuff back.
So you're
I don't
going-
have. I didn't take any of your stuff with me. I just left it.
Okay. I'll pick it all up.
Who is this Wormsworth you were speaking of?
Well, no, well, I have to admit I'm defeated. Wormsworth, you work for him. You must know who he is.
We don't know who that is.
You don't know Dr. Wormsworth.
No,
No.
we have no idea who you're talking about. We came from Madan.
Can I do
Well-
an insight check?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, I came from the karate.
Well, yes, you came.
Ah,
you
that one.
You think that suddenly everything adds up. This is perfect. Everything adds up. Maybe they don't work for Wormsworth, and then maybe you just were being a little too paranoid.
No, I thought you worked for. And then. Oh, this is a big mistake. Oh, yes.
Let me ask you this then. The what you prescribed them, is that really for
Percent
ensuring a
sensitivity?
sunlight sensitivity, or is that just something you cooked up for the enemies?
So that the drought you made wouldn't have done anything for them. You recognize the paste you made would have worked. All they needed to do was just you needed to apply it to the top of their eyelids, and they needed to keep their eyes closed for about a minute, and it would have probably cured them.
Well, I mean, administered in one way it would. Administered in another, it would cause severe diarrhea. So,
can you?
I wouldn't drink it then, guys.
What's the correct way then?
not the way I prescribed.
Was there any paste left in there?
Then what is the correct way, please?
As a show of good faith.
Okay.
Yes.
It's much easier to show than it is to
Tell
to
us.
talk.
Or we can give it to you if you want to drink this, whatever you gave them.
Oh no, I'm quite good. Thank you.
Then tell us how to help them the right way. Please.
Okay. Right. Okay. Alright, you got me. Okay. So you're gonna take about a pinch worth of the paste that I made, and you'll put it on the back of your eyelids and close your eyelids for a couple of minutes, and then you should be better.
Insight?
Insight.
Alright, go ahead and roll insight.
Oh no. That one.
Oh,
that
what the hell? I got that one, but I have stats.
Well, okay, the thing is that I told you this was how it worked, so in the end, you're...
Yeah, but I mean, whether they believe I'm lying or not, right?
Would we think he's lying if we didn't want an insight?
Well, he said a minute, you said a few minutes, so...
Oh
But yeah,
my
why am I
God.
rolling? I'm telling the truth. There's nothing...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, so this is kind of moot, that you feel like he's telling the truth.
I go back inside, is there more paste?
Yeah, I mean, he made enough that it would do it.
Alright. So I bring it out to Thoric and I call. If you guys want to try it, it's up to you.
Yes.
Definitely don't drink what he gave you.
No.
I would hand the old man back his potion, and I would kind of let go of him and drop him back to his feet.
Oh, thank goodness.
We meant no hostility, and this
Well,
is all
see,
our
the thing is,
big
I thought you were
misunderstanding.
working for Dr. Wormsworth.
Right.
He's my nemesis, my arch enemy. He's been tormenting me for decades. He always tried to stamp me out, and I always fought back. And then he chased me out here. That's where I thought that you were working with him to put an end to me. So I thought I'd trick him by poisoning his goons with severe diarrhea. It was a brilliant plan. It just didn't quite work. You're just too crafty.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Where is this Wormsworth anyway?
Last I saw him, Windheim.
Well, ain't that just
Convenient.
peachy?
We'll keep that
That's
in
a lot
mind
of
when
effort.
we leave Pypel. Pypel?
The Pypel?
Pypel? Where are we? What is
Pypel.
this town?
Pypel.
Pypel?
Pyrus.
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 Wait a minute.
I call and walk over, look at the paste, like grab it from Evelyn if she hands it out.
Yeah, I hold it out to you and Thoric.
I'm gonna take a little bit on my finger, put it under my eyelids, and he's actually just gonna lay down in the grass.
Okay,
I'm gonna do one eye at a time so I don't completely lose vision.
sure.
All right.
Alright, so after a couple minutes, while that's happening, what's everyone else doing? Are you actually hurt? You said that they might have broke something of yours?
Yes, my pride.
I'm afraid
well,
I
let's just
I
walk
guess
away
I
from
can't
that.
do anything about that, sorry.
Yes.
What do you mean you could do something about? Do you know medicine too? See, I'm actually a doctor, and that's where I met Dr. Wormsworth. He destroyed my clinic, you understand? We were always competing against each other. My clinic versus his. I was Grandview Park, he was Granderview Park. Always one-upping me. Wormsworth!
Are you from Windheim, sir?
Yes, actually I am from Windheim, but that bastard Wormsworth just closed my business with shady tactics, and now I'm out here, but now I have something to get him back. Well, I know magic now, but not the magic I want to know. See, the magic I want to know is how to magically heal people, and then I'll put him out of business. Oh, yes, and then he'll be the one out here in Pypel in the shack. I mean, the Ritz, the pantry. He'll be in the pantry, and I'll be at Windheim. Yes, a perfect plan.
I just look at Aniel like, okay.
So, yes, my dear, are you also a doctor?
Of a sorts. Yes, she is.
Really? What's your specialty?
Healing. Right?
That's, yes, we're all healers, but what's your physiological specialty? I mean, I'm more partial towards humans in this day and age. There's more humans, so I thought it'd be better for business to specialize in human physiology.
I believe Doma's also a healer now too, right, Doma?
Well,
You more than one doctor? Wow, I haven't seen this many doctors in one place since the convention 30 years ago. What's your specialty then, Domo?
Looks like he's muted.
Yeah, I think he's off.
Sir.
he's more of a religious
So,
healer.
Doma basically.
Oh,
I think
well,
how Doma would reply here is that he would go, well, it's not so much a trade skill, but I have been developing a way to help mend people magically, as you kind of inferred previously.
Yeah.
Because Doma's very naive. He's pretty earnest with
Right.
this stuff, so I think he would say that actually at this point.
Yeah, I think so too.
So when you're talking about mending magically, you mean like removing toxins and curses, right? More of the magical elements. You're not really talking about mending open flesh, per se, right?
I'm not quite certain. I mean, I haven't done it for very long. It's kind of a recently acquired thing.
This is what, faith healing or something?
Sure, let's call it that.
I'd love to see a bit of it in action, if you won't mind. Let's see, who can I stab real quick? And I pull out my dagger.
Oh, good God! I step as far back as I can.
I wish Doma was here. Oh fuck, because I don't want to fuck his character up.
I would be.
Any volunteers for science? Hmm?
No, let's not.
I mean,
Science!
hold on, don't,
No,
don't go
no.
around stabbing people or yourself, okay? We're fine. But just put the dagger down.
Oh, myself! Good idea!
No!
Shit.
Oh God!
Oh!
Alright, so Doma moves up to you and he's gonna try to cast land hands on you because I don't.
Jesus.
Alright.
What the fuck is this character?
I call it the stays laid down under the sun. Like,
So,
I just did a slash kind of on my back of my wrist, basically.
oh, so it's not lethal. Lethal.
No.
Okay.
No. It's not suicidal.
I don't know. He's crazy.
It's not like euthanasia.
He's crazy, man. All right, so
It's really crazy.
well then I don't think Doma would burn his land hands here at that point.
No.
I don't think he would either. He'd be saving it for Aniel.
Despite you slashing your
I
wrist.
think we need to find
when's the last time
in.
you've been? Well, last time you've been in Windheim, though.
What about my wrist here? Hmm?
what did you say?
Put some spit and.
Oh no, none of that barbaric tribal medicine stuff. No, just
Well, just wrap it up. Wrap it up. Ben.
I have it. I thought you actually were an actual doctor.
No, not that kind. No.
No, you're more of a good intentions kind of doctor.
No, here
Wish you
I'll
well.
show you.
No.
And she's going to try to cast
No.
healing word on you.
I'm gonna stop her right now.
Stop.
Oh, you're back
Yay!
finally! Fuck, Jesus Christ! All right, so do you know what just happened? I was having to autopilot you.
Dude,
I don't know
might
what
get
just happened.
stabbed
All right,
because you
so-
already lay on hands.
So Kyle's character is apparently a doctor in medicine, and
Yeah.
then he was trying to learn how to magically figure out how to heal effectively through research, and then
God.
and then people kind of almost platformed Aniel, and then Aniel's like, well, I can kind of help, and he's like, oh, what medicine school you teach? And she's like, and then Aniel diverted to you for deflection because she didn't really want to answer, and you're like, well, yeah, I guess I could kind of help because you weren't here to answer. I'm like, well, your character's naive enough that you would be like, yeah, I guess I'm trying to work on something here. So then Kyle's character's like, great, show me, and he stabbed himself, and now he's bleeding a little bit.
Oh my fuck.
And
Oh my
so
fuck.
I didn't know if you were going to burn your. I don't
No
know.
one volunteered.
So
I
Doma,
mean-
would
He wanted to stab one of us.
would you cast land hands or not right now?
Holy fuck. Like, how much did he stab himself?
Just
Can I
like a
slash
slash on
you
the
roll?
wrist.
Let me roll. Let's see here. Oh shit, 5 damage.
Not too
Holy
bad.
Would you?
fuck.
So Aniel's about to try to heal him because this guy just doesn't understand, or you could try to heal. It's your choice.
Well, I'm not gonna let Aniel try and heal.
So you're going to go for it.
Yeah.
All right. So all right.
It takes some time too, so we can let our eyesight kick in.
No,
Yeah,
it
let's
do-
just do this for an
It
hour.
doesn't take time. Doma, to your surprise, it immediately heals as you successfully, for your first time ever, completely lay on hands as the action intended.
And you wait.
How many hit points do you want to donate to heal?
The damage worth?
5.
5 hit points. Your
Aw, I was hoping to
wrist
say 1.
heals good as new, Mr.
What the?
Baldrick.
What is this?
How does
Don't
Aniel
do it
look
again.
right
I'm gonna take
now?
my knife and stab myself again.
Oh,
All right, no. I'm putting my foot down
can I
here.
stop
Let
him,
him bleed
Lars?
out.
Can I
Let
stop
him bleed out.
You see him lift the dagger up. Yes, you can try to stop him if you'd like.
I want to try and stop him.
I'll help him.
All right, so
I literally just want to find
No,
it and
let
go to bed.
Let him.
Fucking Roderick.
Well, like,
Oh,
and
my
this time I'm
God.
carefully looking at his hands and his mouth to see if he's doing any somatic or verbal, any kind of, spell casting articulation.
Do
I'm
you-
just I'm gonna cast detect magic. I'm
okay,
gonna like
so you cast detect magic. Doma, he's slashed himself again before you could, and so he's bleeding again.
Doma, leave him. Just let it be.
Don't. Yeah, this
Let it be.
isn't.
Doma's hands are just in his face, like, oh my fucking god.
well, I'm waiting.
You're gonna
I
stay
look
waiting.
up to Doma and I say, "Save it for Ania."
That's what I was thinking. How did Aniel look that my healing just worked, by the way?
As you look at her eyes are very wide.
That's what I was expecting. I think once was enough. You got your free heal for the day.
Free? No, you're a doctor, I heard. So you took the Hippocratic oath. You must
No.
do no harm.
say
You
he
must
was a
heal
doctor.
the wound.
You said do
He
no
said
harm,
he
but you
could
did it to
heal.
yourself.
Well, it's not really harm. It's for science.
But it is
We-
harm.
We need to go find somewhere to rest for the night. We need to go find a room.
No, I'm coming with you.
Holy,
I need to see this again.
sure. I'm gonna
Um,
The
try it,
next
but I'm not
time
gonna
we're
heal
willing
you.
to do the procedure.
I'm willing to heal someone, but it's not gonna be you.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't have to be
Don't
me. Who
say
else do you
that.
want me to stab?
No. See?
No.
Doma, watch. Doma, with this guy, you have to watch the wording. You have
Thoric
to
and
watch the
Paul,
wording.
how are you guys doing?
I was like basically catnapping without sleeping in the grass. Just
Kyle, can you
Yeah,
see better now?
So yes, the Thorak and a call. You guys are no longer sunlight sensitivity. It's been a couple minutes, and you are cured of your ailment. You see perfectly fine now.
Holy shit.
Are you guys good?
That is so much better.
Oh, finally.
See, the sky is blue.
What the fuck?
You guys heard all this go down, even though you really didn't see it. You heard it,
Yeah.
all this bullshit that's coming out of Baldric's mouth.
I think we should go find.
Well, I would
somewhere
love to,
rest
before we leave,
for the
I would
night.
love to see her do her specialty too, please.
Nope.
No.
I still have an injured hand
We're-
right here.
We're not.
Hands
supposed
you're a
to
medicine man. You should
watch.
be able to patch yourself up.
Yeah.
Why can't she do her thing?
Because I said
Because
so.
everything comes with a risk.
Yes.
Oh, God,
I don't understand.
it's not happening. That's what you need to understand.
Why?
You must understand.
Because it's not. End of story.
I go and I put my arm around Aniel and I start walking down the street with her, just guiding her.
You
down the
guys
street.
practice some very weird doctory, I'll tell you that. And I'm gonna go get my things, and I'll be right back. I run into my house.
Okay, Roger's gonna run. He's gonna book it.
All right, so,
Gotta go.
so
Gotta go.
Roderick runs on his own. Everyone else is kind of walking. And Roderick's
I'm
just-
walking fast. I'm walking
Is there like a
fast with
broom
Aniel.
or a stick?
All
I
right,
can
so
pin them
you
to?
guys are trying to outwit a Kyle's character here, basically.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
When I hear, do I perceive that I hear them running away, basically? When I walk out?
Mystically?
I mean, I called didn't run. He's just walking.
So,
He's just like, whatever.
gosh, this is a tough choice.
He's enjoying the view.
You're too.
Oh,
I
yeah,
would
that's
say
great.
you're too intent on grabbing your things to really have noticed it.
Well, I mean,
What's your passive
Really?
perception?
14.
It's decent.
That is decent. Okay. Yes, you did hear that. You hear a quickness of pace of at least one individual who's like, "Come on," which was the
Okay,
the
okay.
elven.
So
elven
I'm
guy.
going to then cast. What's the name of the spell again? I'm going to cast animate objects, and I'm gonna Merlin and Store the Stone this shit, and have these items start packing themselves. Because I can see that they're trying to run away.
So, like, you pop your head back out, you see them running, you quickly animate your hands, and suddenly your objects, if we could see it, we would see your several of your items come to life as they start packing themselves into, like, this little box of sorts for you, right?
I am making my way to the right side of the town.
So
by
now,
the
let's
way.
also talk, you don't have a large amount of items, but you do have all your stuff thrown into your bag of holding that you have, and...
I have a bag of holding?
Yes, you do.
I don't remember you telling me that.
Oh, God.
Now you have a bag of holding.
Why would you complain about that?
All right, bag of holding in the inventory.
Your bag of
Oh
holding.
my God.
I wish I had one. Fuck.
You do have one. Who has it? Doma has it? You guys
Doma
already
has
have
it,
this item, so...
Mama has it.
All right,
Yeah.
bag of holding, sweet. The easiest magical item I've ever been given. Was an accident. Okay, yeah. So I'm all right. And then, how long did it take me to do all that stuff? Even I burnt a 5th level spell. So
Yeah, so you see them leaving, but since they're not going at a tremendous pace, and since Pypel is pretty much just a long straight road most of the way, they don't really break line of sight. So like they start heading back, like northward, back towards a different location. Like, but takes you about like 45 seconds before you feel like you got your stuff. You grab one of your like your chairs. Like walks up to you, hands the bag to you, and then you
Awesome.
just you look at the chair. You put the bag out. The chair walks its way into your bag. You close the bag. You put it on your back, and you start hustling after them. Yeah.
Just add
Right.
chair to your
and then like how
inventory
far away
real
do you
quick.
think? How far away do you think they are?
Oh, they're
Probably.
probably
The
at
call would not be that far.
this far. I mean, about a minute. That's
No, like
300
distance wise. How far
300,
do you
300,
think
300
distance-wise?
feet, 400 feet.
All right, I'm gonna fucking cast Dimension Door
Oh my god.
and be right next to them.
So you wave your hands around, you tear down as you're like pulling a curtain in the middle of air, and there's a purple gateway. You just walk through it real quick, and then suddenly you reappear. And Evelyn, you know what spell he casts. You recognize the residual energies it dissipates out as. He kind of does it very hurriedly though. He dimensions a little higher than he should, so he does fall about 2 feet. catches himself doesn't fall face first in the ground, but catches himself, and he dusts himself off with all his most of his belongings, basically anything that.
I want to be in the front of them, so like I transported in front of all of the group, not behind them.
Are you serious?
So you.
Well, you guys are quite spirited to go get along. Don't worry, old Baldric won't keep you weighted down. I'll stay up with you. Don't worry. I have to see this mystic power.
At this moment, you're interrupted as you hear from like a little horn, and then you see you guys all look up and you see the gnome. What was this? Tynans or whatever. Tynes. He clears his throat as he moves out into his little pedestal of sorts and like. The great race is about to begin. Please get off of the main strip and get to the sides.
I'm going to the right side of town.
Right, and so at that point, we are going to go ahead and end today's episode here, as we are out of time. So tune in next week for the potential race and Baldric's insanity.
See you later, everyone.
All right, so thank you everyone for participating. They welcome our two newest members of the group, Baldric and Pyrus. We have a very timid elvenish woman, and we have a very insane old man.
I wouldn't say insane. I'd say
eccentric.
Anyways, we'll be closing the stream here. Thank you for participating. See you next Sunday, 4 p.m. Have a good night, everybody.